Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Alien Investigations, a channel dedicated to the X-Files collectible card game. I'm your host, Steven, and we're coming at you with another playtest for our upcoming fan-made expansion, the 112263 Season 5 expansion, unofficial, unsanctioned, unauthorized. And this is the 21st playtest that we're doing for this expansion. It's 175 cards after all, so that's a lot of ground to cover, and therefore we're trying to apply a very thorough eye to these cards before we somehow, I don't know how, but somehow make them, available for those who do want copies of their own. We'll figure out those details at some point down the line, but in the meantime, we're here to put these cards through a stress test and make sure they are mechanically sound. So when all is said and done, we're getting nothing but quality, serviceable cards. And I want to thank the two gentlemen for availing themselves. Or I want to thank the two gentlemen here with me for availing themselves to conduct this playtest. Joining me from France, I've got Guillaume. And Guillaume, you've been a part of the majority of these playtests. Thank you very, very kindly. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got for this latest playtest. Tell me, is this a deck or a team that we've seen previously, or did you go something altogether new?
No, it's a team that I've used before, but for the deck, I actually tried to use the list of cards that you provided with some of the cards that haven't been properly playtested yet, or not at all. So I'm not really sure. I did try to go with the team that I think I know works, but with this specific deck, I'm not really sure. So it was really a matter of which cards have not been playtested. Let's try to put them in the deck and see what other cards I can add to make that work with the team I selected.
Excellent. And even though we've done 20 playtests up to this point, there is still a laundry list of cards that we have yet to see come up during these playtests that we're trying to make sure that they are seemingly mechanically sound, because they may not be. But the only way to make sure of that is to try them out in the course of one of these playtest games, and that's the real test of whether or not they are not only faithful to what has come before, but that they can actually be playable in the course of the game. And Guillaume, your opponent for this matchup, Alastair Headden, is from Scotland. And Alastair, you've been a part of a few of these playtests. If I'm not mistaken, you were part of the very first one too. So yeah, here we are, 20 playtests later, my friend. And again, same question to you. Are you bringing a new team of agents / bureau deck to this than what we've seen in your previous playtests?
Yeah, I definitely am, because I got really excited when I saw the files that you sent over with the updated playtest card list, because there was an agent containing them that I had somehow escaped my attention had even made it to the game yet. So I've definitely never played with them before, because until this afternoon, I didn't realize they existed for the game. So something new.
Excellent. And yeah, we have updated some of the cards since the earlier playtests, because we've already ruled them out as being in need of some revisions. And so we're going to be playing with those most updated versions of them to once again make sure that even the revisions are mechanically sound. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are bringing those newest versions to this, because again, it's like even though we fixed them once, sometimes even a revised card could still just need a little bit more touching up. And Guillaume, from back when we play tested the Season 4 expansions, that we had a few cards, not many, but a few, go through so many revisions, and Quarantine Zone will, and for probably forever, will be the card that saw the most revisions before we were finally happy with it. And even in retrospect, I'm still not altogether pleased with that card. But nevertheless, you are well aware of just how many times a card can get revised before we finally land on what's perfect. And so we're here to do that for each and every card in this set. And so, gentlemen, you guys have done this before, but for those who are tuning in who may not have seen one of these games before, this is going to operate just like any other game of X-Files CCG that they've seen on this channel. It's going to proceed until one of these two gentlemen has solved the identity of their opponent's hidden X-File. And from that point, we'll conclude the playtest, and then, of course, at that point, we can discuss further any card issues that arose during the game, and, of course, what we can do to improve upon them. So, again, just like any other game of X-Files CCG, but if anything, much more enjoyable because we are working with some heretofore unseen cards, some fan-made cards, and actually, in addition to the cards from the Season 5 expansion, if I'm not mistaken, did both of you gentlemen pick an X-File from a certain upcoming checklist expansion that is in the works? Yes?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We are using the checklist that you and I worked on, Stephen, that will include X-Files from Season 3 and Season 4.
Very exciting. Very exciting. I cannot wait to see what X-File each of you guys chose. Alastair, this is the first time you've played a game with these new 41 X-Files to choose from. Is that correct?
It is, yeah, my first time using this. So one of the interesting things is that I can't really remember whether you guys have tweaked the commonality of different options. So there'll be no falling back for me today on. Yeah, I already looking at this list feel like there's a lot less death results, for example, than we see in the first checklist. So it will be an experience, a learning curve, if you will, for me today.
Exactly. And should you get an affiliation question in the course of your investigations, you're not necessarily going to be leaning on evolutionary for the numbers game. You know, you might be looking at a different affiliation this time around, should you get one of those questions. And therein lies the beauty of this. Guillaume, I don't have the checklist in front of me, but please remind me, what is the code name for this one? 82517, am I right?
Hold on, because it's not actually on the checklist.
Oh, it's not. That's right.
No.
Okay.
So
But if anyone wants to know where that number comes from, it's seen in the episode 731 of Season 3, and it's on the top of the train car that Mulder is trapped inside with the red-haired man, and there's a bomb ticking away. It's that number. That number. And if I ever get around to editing this, I'll post the clip of that train rolling by, and Guillaume, you'll gladly provide me with the clip of that episode when the time comes. Yeah?
Of course. And speaking of the updated Season 5 playtest cards, I did print the newer versions, but my printer ran out of ink. So if you see some cards looking like not as colorful as the other ones, it's because it's the newer version. So I definitely need to buy some new cartridges.
No problem. As long as I don't see that old version of Mummified Corpse come up, I'm sure we'll probably be fine. But yeah, so for anyone who's not aware, so what these two gentlemen have done is they've chosen an X-File card, not from the 41 commercially released ones that are representing episodes of Season 1 and Season 2. What they've done is they've chosen an X-File from a list of 41 that are representing episodes from Season 3 and Season 4. And that is part of an upcoming expansion checklist that we're going to hopefully release at some point in the near future, with 41 new possible X-Files to choose from, beautifully rendered by Guillaume. Absolutely beautiful designs. Guys, if you have a chance, before we get this game started, could you send me a message? Could you send me a message of your X-File? And then when we're done, I can have the picture of it appear on the screen at the very end once you guys have solved it. Sound good?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know mine is one of the few that I had printed as a test to see if the coloring was good. So I do have the real card. So you have the. I'm not showing the front yet, but
not too soon.
Yeah, but you can already see the back is going to be the art.
Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it, Alastair? Oh, he might have frozen up there for a second. Yeah. So I think we lost Alastair for a second, but yeah, hopefully he'll be back shortly. So yeah, so this is really exciting. So we've cranked out our first of several expansions for the X-Files checklist. And so not only are we going to be providing the 41 new cards, we're also going to be providing a checklist for it as well. And Guillaume, thank you so much for showing us a copy of that. And
actually, I printed two, but it will be just like this. I like to print two so that I can keep track of my investigation and my opponent's investigation as well.
Perfect. Oh, and you're back. Good thing, Alastair. And thank you for sending me that message. So I got your X-File, I've got Guillaume's. So yeah, I'll pull up the images, but of course, yeah, Guillaume's going to have a printed one to show. So yes, he's thankfully done a test print on them, and the colors, from what I've seen in the pictures you sent, are just mwah, chef's kiss awarded.
Yes.
Good job on that. So gentlemen, I'm going to head backstage. Oh, go ahead, Guillaume. Sorry, one more thought before we go.
Sorry, I just say it took a few tries, but it does work now. So
excellent. Yeah, and bravo to you on that too, because of course the inflation has, certainly affected all aspects of, our day-to-day living, including our ability to order some of these cards at a reasonable price as well, especially for us here in the States. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about X-Files CCG. And without further ado, I'm going to head backstage. I'm going to bring in your tables, and you guys can get this game started. And of course, I'll be around so you can ask me a little bit of questions about some of the cards, pick my brain, and we'll see if we need to do any revisions. Sound good, gentlemen?
yes.
All right. You have a great game.
Thank you. All right, so I see you've chosen Scully, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, Marita, and 𝐵𝐵𝐻e𝐻e𝐬. I almost included Marita as well because it's the new version, and I really wanted to playtest her. So she's not on my team, but I'm glad that she's on yours.
Yeah, that was the card where somehow it just slipped my attention in amongst the new cards coming out that she had even been created as an agent card yet. So I'm very happy to have a chance to play with a totally new agent. And of course, if you have her, you've got to have 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 to get that game effect going. So went all in. What about you, Guillaume? Who have you got today?
Oh, so nothing too original for a Season 5 game. I have 𝐵𝐵𝐻e𝐻e𝐬, Langley, Detective 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. I have Holly Patton, and I have Brian Fuller from the Scully set.
Nice, you're representing Season 5 a lot more thoroughly in your agents than I am today. And I always get tempted to play Lone Gunman, but I feel like they have been played a lot in the playtest games, so I have not yet wheeled them out myself, but one day I will. How do you want to choose first player this evening, Ian?
Sorry, what?
How would you like to choose first player, or who picks for what we're doing this evening? Are you happy with the dice roll?
Yeah, sure. Perfect.
And would you like odds or evens on this dice roll?
Even.
It's a 5, so it's odd. So I will take a shot as the investigating player first here.
All right.
And yeah, if you're ready to go, we can draw our opening 7.
Yeah.
And before I forget, I'm just going to very quickly... I was about to say I'm going to very quickly bring up your agent cards on your site, which is my normal thing to do, but I think the Season 5 ones aren't on there yet, so I will instead just rely on asking you endless amounts of questions about what your agent's skills and abilities are during the game.
And I have your agents. Like, the cards you see on the side of my table are your agents.
Brill, yeah. Nice one. Okay. Yeah, so if we're good to go, I've got my opening 7, and I'll start by drawing a card. Okay, so 1 card to hand. Yeah, I'm creating CP. So I get 1 from 𝐵𝐵𝐻e𝐻e𝐬, 1 from Covarrubias, 2 from Scully, and I get 2 from 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 that I can choose to add to either pool, and I'm going to choose to add his 2 to the conspiracy pool, which takes that up to 7, and put the other 4 into res, which brings that to 9. And then I think I'm going to buy... couple of cards with that, so taking back down to 7 in the res, 2 cards to hand. Well, one of them was a hard evidence. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly play that just now to get it sorted. So that will I pay 2 for it. It gives me 5, so it will net me 3 in total. So it'll take up to 10, and pass to you for selling and buying for conspiracy.
Well, I will just sell 1 card. I'll sell the 2x video camera for 5. Puts me at 10, and I will. Maybe 1 card. Yeah, I'll buy just 1 card and pass it back to you. I'll pass it back to you. Sorry.
Before I forget, I actually also have a friend in the FBI here, so I'm going to pay that 2 for that and do the old trick where you take the tokens off it to effectively pay for itself. So. don't even mention it, Stephen. Okay, so I have no healing because it's the first time of the game. I don't have any equipment, I don't think. Let me just check what some of these new cards are about. Yeah, no equipment to reposition out. So deployment, I'm going to move all my agents into the field, which I will indicate by pushing them slightly forward on the table. And then a case assignment. I am, yeah, I'm going to, I paid 2 for US Coast Guard Headquarters, Virginia. That's subterfuge 4+ with an affiliation question. Then I will pay, yeah, I'll pay another 2, going into 4, for Coastal Northwest Oregon, which is Alien Investigation 4+ with an affiliation question. And I will pass it to you for whether you would like to play any bluffs on those.
I will play 1 bluff on the alien investigation site.
Okay, cool. So
and I'll play 1 bluff on the other one as well. So the one with the red token is for the subterfuge site.
Perfect. I am. I'm going to go ahead and burn the Scully token here to take a peek at what is at the alien investigation site. So the site without a token here.
So it's a season 5 bluff. It's the BATF refuses to play ball. It plays this card to prevent all keyword independent agents from contributing to any skill checks occurring at this site, including combat.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that would be pretty rough for me in this one. So I think we will send the team off to the US Coast Guard headquarters instead. So all 4 characters to that, and see what you've got there. What have you got, Guillaume?
All right. So the bluff there is called troubles. So I will pay 2 to force you to only send 2 agents to the site.
Okay, so this is one of those kind of like pretty obvious choices for me where Bonikaze and Scully don't actually have the prerequisite skills. So I'm going to drop them off from this site, and it'll just be 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and 𝐵 who actually make it to the site.
Right, so
I actually have an event to play here as well, quickly for 1, which is a season 5 card, Bedside Vigil. attach this card to an agent in either the bureau or the field. As long as this card is in play, the agent may generate res as normal even while in the hospital. And I'm just going to put that onto CryCheck.
All right, so for now you have, 7 subterfuge?
Yes, because 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is getting her +1 from being on a team with CryCheck at total of 7.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to pay 6 to play Pusher. It has the activators of conspiracy and agent. And it has the keyword evolutionary and creature.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to combat. He has a pretty fun ability, right?
Yeah, so each combat round, the controller of the team opposing Pusher must choose odd or even. Flip over the top card of your bureau deck if the cost matches your guess, odd or even. Continue combat as normal. If the guess is incorrect, Pusher may allocate 1 agent's damage to any one target, including other agents. So basically you have to choose now odd or even, and then you flip over the top card from your bureau deck.
And it's my bureau deck, not yours, that the flip happens from. Is that right, Guillaume? Yeah. So I will choose... I'm going to choose even.
Okay.
And it is even. It's a 6.
Oh, too bad. I was hoping the other way around would have been perfect, but
I sneak by that one. But Pusher still has some long range damage to dish out here.
Yeah, well, your team will destroy him in long range, especially with CryCheck. Yeah, so combat goes on as normal. So Pusher deals 3 long range damage. So I will inflict the 3 to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, and then CryCheck 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 deal 5 damage.
5 back, yeah.
Killing him. So he goes to the discard pile, and well, that's the only card that I could play, so you are free to ask your question.
Okay, let's go for, is your X-File primordial affiliation?
It is not.
Okay. And so that's that site done. I'm going to send that to the discard pile. Coastal Northwest Oregon will hang around because it has that bluff on it.
Yeah, so the bluff will stay here with the red token on it.
Okay. I am at 5 cards for debriefing, so no discarding needed at the moment.
And I have 4, so no discarding for me either.
Okay, and I'll pass to you for your turn.
Okay, so I'm draw my free card. I'll generate my res, which is 6. Puts me at 11. And I will buy I'll buy 3 cards. And back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, an extra one. 4 cards. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I am going. Yeah, I'm going to sell just 1 card here, which is going to be U.S. Coastal Guard. U.S. Coast Guard headquarters again for 2, which will take me up to 9. And I will choose to buy 1 card, dropping me to 8. And then I'm going to use 2 points to play a Rejuvenating Caves. Back to you for the rest of your turn.
All right, so no healing, no requisition. I'm going to send everyone to the field. And for this assignment, I will play. I'll play 2 sites. I will play Arecibo, Puerto Rico, and the abandoned missile site in North Dakota. So for a total of 3. So Arecibo, Puerto Rico is alien investigation or computer affiliation method, and the abandoned missile site is alien investigation and affiliation.
Okay, no bluffs from me.
All right. So
Hello, David Peace, who's just joined us in chat. See?
hey, David. Okay, well, we'll try this. I will send Detective 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and 𝐻den to the abandoned missile site, and I'll send the other 3 agents to Arecibo, Puerto Rico. And
okay,
we'll start, I don't know, let's say we'll start the investigation at the abandoned missile site. And before we do anything else, I'm going, oh no. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Okay, well, too bad. Let's proceed. So we'll start with the abandoned missile site. And could I have done this differently? Do you mind if I switch one agent?
yeah, go for it, Guillaume.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Okay, so we'll start the investigation at Arecibo, Puerto Rico instead, and I'm going to pay 1 to play interagency luncheon. It's play on a team at a site composed of 1 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 agent and 1 independent agent to add 5 tokens to your resource pool. So that's where I was wrong. I forgot. I don't know why. I thought like 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 had the 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 FBI, but he didn't. He doesn't. So
Oh yeah, understandable
yeah, and
mistake.
FBI. So unless you're negating the card, I'll be adding 5 to my pool.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right, so for Arecibo, Puerto Rico, I'll be using computer 5+, and I currently have 6 computer.
Yeah, we've all been there, David. I am going to pay 6, so emptying my conspiracy pool to play pusher. Snap. So I guess we know what this card does because we have just done it. So
yeah,
unless you are negating pusher, we can do the top of the deck flip in a moment, Guillaume. But
yeah, no, I'm not negating him. You don't happen to have Fox Huntress in your deck, do you? Because that is the reason I included pusher in my deck.
Yeah, I think we might be on the same plan here. Yeah.
All right, so we'll say let's say even.
Okay.
And it is even. Xenos transplantation. It costs 4.
Perfect. So no pusher effect in that respect. But if I remember correctly, Langley and Patton are not the best at combat, which means he's maybe going to get to do a little bit more work here.
Yeah, actually, I think I would have. It might have been better if my guess had been wrong, because I only deal 2 long-range damage to pusher, and he will deal 3. So he gets to take one agent out.
Can you remind me what the health is on both those agents?
Yeah, so Langley is health 5 and Holly is health 3. So I think.
So I guess it makes sense here. Do you say, sorry, Langley's health is 5?
Yes, and Patton is 3.
So I'll put the 3 damage from long range onto Langley, and then we would go to close range, and I'll put the 2 from push onto Langley to put him into the hospital. And
now, remember, I have to choose odd or even before each combat round.
Oh, sorry, Guillaume, I had forgotten that. So yeah, so long range, I will put 3 on Langley, and then back to you for your choice there.
Okay, so Langley had 3. All right, so I'll go with, I don't know, I'll go with even again. Oh, that is such a bad card for me to have to discard its shotgun. So it is
okay, yeah.
Even, but...
Guillaume, you've just reminded me of something, which is I had forgotten that we are meant to discard things that are revealed in a flip, and I forgot to do that. So if it's okay with you, I'm just going to go ahead and discard. I revealed Nurse Owens, so I will go ahead and discard Nurse Owens.
Okay.
I've not done anything with her, so it wouldn't make a difference. And I'll just draw 1 card to replace her that would have been in my hand had I discarded her, if that's all right. Okay, so you're safe again from Pusher's effect here.
Yeah, so Pusher deals 2 close range damage, and I deal a total of 3. So I kill him, and basically you get to send Langley to the hospital. I assume you're not going to.
Yeah.
Oh, you could.
No, yeah, we're.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, Langley, off you go. Yeah, Stephen, the Guillemot shotgun, I lost Nurse Owens to Pusher flips. Dangerous. He's a dangerous guy.
Yeah, so it shows that Pusher, even though maybe will not, in this case, it did manage to send my agent to the hospital, but even if you don't do that, maybe you can also force your opponent to get rid of some useful cards. So that is also a good effect for Pusher. All right, so Langley's gone to the hospital. Holly is by herself. I now only have 2 computers. I have no witnesses. So yeah, nothing I can do for her, unfortunately. So the site, I'm failing that investigation. Are there any other cards that you'd like to play on that side?
No, you're all good, Guillaume. And the good news for you here is that on the other site, having completely emptied my conspiracy pool on the first one, I have nothing to do. So you're clear for a question.
So the other one is Alien Investigation 4+. I have just 4 with Kresge and Frohiki. It's an affiliation question. So is your affiliation, well, let's go with government.
It's not government, no.
Okay. So that site is discarded, and I'm going to pay 1 to play the Lone Gunman on Arecibo, Puerto Rico. So
it's been a little while since I saw this card. It can basically kind of build up ability towards the site. Yeah,
so play the Lone Gunman card on a site. While played on a site, the Lone Gunman are considered a keyword witness card. A site with the Lone Gunman played on it stays in the field until they are removed. During your briefing phase, pay 1 RP to place a token on the site. When a team investigates the site, each token adds 1 to the skill check. So,
nice, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. And before we exit the investigation phase, I'm going to pay 2 to play grid pattern search, and I'm going to add the shotgun to my hand.
Nice, yeah.
Because I only have 1. I only have 1 conspiracy, so I hate to use grid pattern search that way, but I do need the
That seems good to me. I like that play.
And for debriefing, I have 5 cards in my hand.
3 cards in hand for me, so no discarding here. And if you're ready, I will go ahead and draw a card for my turn.
Okay, good.
Okay, so drawing 1. And creating some resources here. So this time I'm going to get 2 from a friend in the FBI. Takes down to 6 counters on it. 2 from Scully is 4. 1 from 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is 5. 1 from Bonacazzi is 6. I think this time around I'm going to use cry checks into the res as well. So there's a total of 8, so I got to 11. And then I am going to buy. I mean, I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy a whopping 7 cards here, so I'm going down all the way down to 4 in my resource pool. And I need 7 cards to have. And I will pass to you for your buying and selling for conspiracy.
So I forget. Did you remember to use your friend in the FBI tokens?
I did, yeah. Thanks, Guillaume. Yeah, they went into my pool. Yeah, cheers.
Right. So I only have I only have 1 card to sell. I have to sell the shotgun for 6. Puts me at 7. And okay. I will buy 2 cards.
Okay.
Oh, just one.
Just
Oh,
one.
2. No, 2, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so you bought for conspiracy, and moving on with my turn, I do have an injured agent, but they're not in hospital yet, so no healing happens. Requisition. I don't have any equipment to dish out here. So deployment, everyone is going to stay in the field. And I oh, actually, before I go any further here, I'm going to pay 2 and play Harold Spuller. This is season 4 card, I think.
Yes.
He's a witness resource, cost of 2. Place 3 tokens on this card. Remove a token and pick a number between 0 and 12. Your opponent must show you all cards in their hand that cost the same as the chosen number. Discard this card when all tokens have been removed.
That's a nice one. I think it's a clever way to translate the character and the way he memorizes the bowling scores.
Yeah, it's a very interesting ability mechanically as well. So, and I'm actually going to use them straight away. I want to do a quick check on something here. I'm going to pick the number 9.
I do not have a card that costs.
Okay, I can rest a bit easier on a certain trap that I was worried about. Anyway, right. Sight being played for 1. This is Hong Kong, evidence collection 5+, or subterfuge 5+, method or result question. And I will pass it to you for any bluffs that you want to throw on it. What's this, Stephen? A witness outside of an investigation 2. We have that all the time, right? That's like your speciality.
No bluffs. Or just one bluff. Just one bluff.
I actually legitimately didn't see what that was, whatever it was. So I will. It appears to be frowned upon if you apply the most rigid interpretation of the rules. Oh wow, this is the Discord discussion again, isn't it? Why is playing? Where in the rules does it say that you can't play a witness in a different moment? I'm interested. I don't remember that from the rule book. But anyway, right. I digress. Guillaume has played a bluff. I am going to live very dangerously and just send the whole team into Hong Kong to see what's in store for us. So go ahead and bluff away here, Guillaume.
Oh, it's a true bluff. It was Hoover justifies the conspiracy. It's an event.
Okay. So there's no danger to them from that, but you still have 5 in your conspiracy pool. So is there any other wrench you want to throw into their investigation here?
Well, which skill will we be using?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with evidence collection here, and to give you the rundown on where that comes from, Bonakaze adds 2, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 adds 2, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 adds 2, and Scully adds 2 for a total of 8 here.
Okay, well, there is only one card that would be useful because your team is quite strong. I'm going to pay 4 to play Moral 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. So it's one of the new season 4 cards. Attach this card to either an agent in the bureau section or one that is investigating a site. The agent is afflicted with the keyword traitor and may only contribute to subterfuge and combat skill checks until this card is removed. Discard when... Oh, no, you know what? No. Discard when an agent is part of a team that successfully investigates a site. Yeah. This card...
Could you rewind on that?
But this card is free if played on a keyword neutral agent. So... Oh. Actually, I can just... Oh. Why did I do that? Oh, that's good. So I'm going to... Well, that's... Okay. Even if I attach it to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 or 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, that is going to be free, but you're going to be able to successfully investigate the site anyway. So the card will be discarded.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's worth holding on to it for a more opportune moment later, or...
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, well...
Or I suppose, I don't know if you're anywhere close to discarding for hand size at the end of the turn. Maybe that would be an argument, or just...
No, well, you don't mind if I take it back then?
No, go for it. So you're back at 5 conspiracy then as well?
Yes. Okay, so that was the only card that I could put... Well, I do have another card, but basically it's... I'm just going to pay 1 to play Insanity on Rai, so it won't do anything for this turn, but I'm going to attach this card to change 1 keyword law or independent to Insanity, and let's attach that card to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬.
Okay, I'll just put a yellow dice on 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 here to remind us that that's the card that's attached to it.
And so the card is removed when you play a healing card on the afflicted agent. And except for that one, you're free to ask your question. I have nothing else to play.
Okay, so on method or result, bear with me a second while I try and get at least a slight handle on what my best bet is for asking a question here. Well, I feel like I maybe see a bit more of one than others here. So I'm going to ask, is your result physiological, Guillaume?
I'm pretty sure it's not, but no, it's not.
Okay, so I will do some crossing off. Okay. I think I have got everything that I should have there, so I will send that site to the discard pile. And bad news for me is that I am currently looking at having to discard, so I don't think I have a way to put anything down to change that here. Right. So pardon me, a quick bit of thinking while I work out what I'm discarding here.
Yeah, sure.
Especially with this being a playtest game, I don't want to throw away playtest cards unless I have to. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to discard one playtest card. So 5 Alarm Fire and Rejuvenating Caves are off to the discard. And that's the end of my turn.
All right, so I will draw my free card. I will generate my 4 res. And so I'll pay 1 to put a token on the Lone Gunman card, so that way, before I forget, because it has to be done during the briefing phase.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll buy 4 cards. And back to you.
Okay, so selling for conspiracy. Yes, okay, so doing quite a bit selling this turn. I've got a shotgun for 6, the witness Darlene Morris for 3, and I'm selling playtest card, but don't worry, only an attempt to try and buy more playtest cards. So that's 12 from the cards that I'm selling here. That playtest one's the Urov Koltov Star of Russia card. So yeah, 12 from them plus 2 from Rejuvenating Caves. That's 14 in total. And I will go ahead and buy two cards, so down to 12. Yeah, pass to you for the rest of your turn again.
Okay. So healing Langley heals 2. And I'm also going to pay 1 to play medical treatment. So play on an agent in the hospital. The agent heals 1 token of damage immediately. And now Langley has a health of 3, which means that, so no requisition, and during the deployment, he leaves the hospital. So he still has 2 damage, but he can leave. And he joins the team in the field. And then I'm going to pay 1 to play Fairfax County, and it's a computer 5+ or evidence collection 5+, motive or result.
I am not going to put any bluffs onto that side.
Okay, so I'm going to send everyone to Fairfax County, and I will use computer. So I currently have 11 computer.
That's a pretty good total. And the target is 4 or 5 on this one, sorry?
5. It's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I am going to play Fox Huntress here.
Of course.
So because Pusher is in my discard pile, the card only costs 4 conspiracy to play, so absolute bargain. So drop down to 8 conspiracy. And the rules text on this is long range combat 3, close range combat 2, health of 4. But the text here is, in conjunction with this adversary, one agent of my choice will attack their fellow agents for 1 round of long range and close range combat. When combat is resolved, the agent is immediately sent to the hospital regardless of health and may not leave until fully healed. So I think, can you remind me again of Kresge's combat stats, Guillaume?
Yeah, so he has a long range of 3 and a close range of 2. So he's the strongest agent.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go with
yeah. Otherwise, it's Forhickey with 2 close range and 2 long range. But yeah, Kresge is the strongest one.
Yeah, we'll snag Kresge to be the Fox Huntress's target here. So, I mean, this is an interesting combat because we don't often have combat with multiple protagonists on both sides. So, long range round first, I guess. And what's your team's total for long range here, Guillaume?
Well, not as good without Kresge. So 6.
6. Okay, so I presume that's all going to be directed at Fox Huntress.
Yes.
So
hold on.
Yeah.
Or maybe Kresge, because Kresge is stronger than her. So if I direct the 6 to Kresge, so he still deals his damage, but he'll be gone. Because basically you can choose to inflict Kresge's damage to one agent and Fox Huntress's damage to another agent, correct?
Yes, that's good. That's a good point. Yeah. And I don't know what Kresge's health is. Can with your
Yeah,
you said you have 6.
Yes, he has a house of 5, so it might be. Well, I'm going to get rid of Kresge now.
Okay, and the one spare point. Do you have it in such a way, Guillaume, that you can? Langley only has 1 long range, right?
But I'm not sure I can split my damage unless I have a combat card that allows me to do so, which I don't.
I always, for some reason, I thought you could, but I'm actually maybe thinking of a different card game.
I don't know. I think
so. I will take your word for it.
Well, it's always we usually play only one adversary, so the question is not relevant when that happens.
Yeah, that's very true. I guess if Stephen or David in chat at all have an opinion on whether Guillaume's agents can split their damage, whether they can all assign damage separately, or whether it has to all go in one lump towards a target. I suppose I could also, I've got the little red rule book in front of me here, just double check to see if there's anything.
Because I know that question maybe came up whenever someone played Terry and Margie, and I know that Stephen played those 2 adversaries against me at the same time, but I don't remember.
I've got us in the rulebook here, Guillaume. So the pertinent rule here is damage inflicted by agents may be applied separately if there are multiple targets. However, each particular agent's damage cannot be split. So you're fine to take that 1 from Langley that carries over from getting Kresge and put it onto Fox Huntress if you want to.
All right, perfect. So I'll do that. So 5 to Kresge, and then 1 to Fox Huntress.
And for my long-range combat, I have. Did you say it was 3 from Kresge?
Yes, it's 3 from Kresge.
So I think, Anna, this is a question. Can I split my long-range combat?
I think you can. Well, you can inflict Kresge 3 damage to someone and Fox Huntress 3 damage to someone else, but you cannot say Kresge inflicts 2 damage to someone and 1 damage to someone else, unless you have a combat.
Yeah, that totally makes sense to me. Let's go with that. So I think my best plan here is to put the 3 from Fox Huntress on Langley and the 3 from Kresge on Brian Fuller here.
Okay. So Langley.
All right, guys, I'm coming in, but I'm a little bit late to the party. So I think my immediate thought is, as far as looking at how we would resolve this in terms of like when that comes up during the commercially released cards, obviously the Terry Margie example, but let's just look at something more like Kiss of the Vampire, right? Maybe it's a little more applicable to what our situation is when you got an RP card that's being put under the control of a conspiracy player's adversary. So it doesn't, like, let's look at the Kiss of the Vampire card, right? And then we'll see, let's see, how would we resolve a Kiss of the Vampire? No one ever plays Kiss of the Vampire because it's too freaking expensive. So I suppose we could apply that thought process, how we would resolve that card here, yeah?
Pheromone-induced psychosis is another one, I guess, that does this.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, you got a witness being, same thing. Well, no, because you don't have a separate adversary like attacking in addition to the controlled card. In Kiss of the Vampire, the witness is attacking in addition, the vampire is attacking. So you've got basically 2 adversaries.
Yeah, so that's what's this. Yeah, basically the witness becomes a less powerful vampire, but basically you also have to deal with the witness as well. And I think the witness inflicts their 3 damage to an agent, and the vampire can inflict their 5 close range to another agent. I think that's the way it works.
I mean, to me that seems fair. I mean, because it would be ridiculous if it's like, nope, you got to take the vampire's 5 close range and the witness's 3 and attack 1. Like, what agent's going to have like that much health
and
that it would require that, you know? Go ahead, Guillaume.
That's very fair.
With the cost of the Kiss of the Vampire card, it makes sense that you can target 2 separate agents.
Yeah,
I think it just makes sense. And And
Yeah,
even if
but then it becomes a question, Guillaume. So I agree. So we've got the part with the in the case of from Alastair's standpoint, his Fox Huntress and the controlled agent, which is what Cressy, the one being controlled.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they can attack two separate agents. So, but now the question becomes, how is Guillaume, the investigating player, responding to simultaneously? Is it split? Should it be split automatically? Split among the two? Okay, well, let's say let's go back to the Kiss of the Vampire, for instance. So, can the agents, when attacking Kiss of the Vampire and the witness that's being controlled, can they assign the damage separately? Doesn't say.
Yeah, but
the rulebook.
The
rulebook got us covered for that. Yeah.
Oh, it's got us covered. What does it say?
Damage inflicted by agents may be applied separately if there are multiple targets.
Okay.
However, particular agent's damage cannot be split, which makes sense.
Agents can't split it. Okay.
No,
Like
right?
For instance, that would have said.
I could not 𝐸 has too long range, and I could not say he inflicts one to Fox Huntress and one.
Yeah.
But I can say just so I inflicted Patton, 𝐸 and Fuller's damage to Cressy. That's a total of 5, killing him. And Langley's 1, I applied it to Fox Huntress.
Sounds good to me. What do you think, Alastair?
Perfect. We got it, guys.
Good job, guys. Now, do you think we need to have any? I mean, it seems like the rule book sort of comes through for us on that. Do you think at this juncture, do we need to have any additional text applied to Fox Huntress? Or because again, like I said, we just kind of looked at the rule books and also how we would resolve Kiss of the Vampire and the same. And looking at that language on that card, there's not really anything that would direct us to how to conduct this particular combat. But what do you guys feel?
You're all good. I don't think there's any need at all.
Excellent. And thank you so much for playing that card. I like that both of you guys applied that same strategy of including Pusher in your deck, because obviously that's a really good adversary to play with that agent activator, and getting it discarded so that that gives the opportunity to use that auxiliary effect of paying it for cheaper. So well done on that, Alastair. Well done on that front. Maybe Guillaume will be echoing that play later on should Fox Huntress come up in his deck.
If she comes up, yeah.
All right, carry on, gentlemen.
Okay. So Cressy also is in the hospital now. Is that right?
So yeah, Cressy is going to the hospital as well.
And this opens up an opportunity for me to play another playtest card. So I will do this. I'm paying 4, which drops me to 4, to play a combat card called Divide and Conquer. Play on an evolutionary or primordial adversary to add 2 to the adversary's close range combat value. This round of close range combat is fought between the adversary and the agent with the highest health. My choice if it's a tie, which I think is 𝐸, but
yes, it's 𝐸. Yes.
Okay. So Divide and Conquer will give Fox Huntress 2 close range combat. And what does 𝐸 have on?
He has 2 close range.
Okay, so Fox Huntress will go up to 3 damage and will put 4 wounds on 𝐸.
And well, basically, she also kills Holly during the next round.
Oh, is 4 enough to put 𝐸 in the hospital, or?
Yeah, because he has a health of 4.
Ah, okay. Yeah, and then Holly will get Fox Huntress, but she'll also get Holly if Holly's health is only 2.
Well, so that was a that was a productive round. Everyone is going to the hospital. Well, you know what? I'm out for at least 2 turns. Okay.
All right. So one last question Oh, go ahead, Alastair. Yeah.
I was just saying hello to you.
Oh, yeah. Hello. And so well done on the combat card, because, wow, I think that might be the first of the Season 5 combat cards that actually got play tested in all 20 of these, if I'm not mistaken. And so how do we feel about, let's just say the cost of these 2 cards that Alastair played in the course of this round?
Well, I think Fox Huntress, it makes sense. maybe, I mean, it's good that her cost is reduced when pusher is in a discard pile, but also you also can consider that you could include 2 pusher and just discard them without actually playing them. So,
if the stars align, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the pusher card would have to come up before Fox Huntress, and obviously that won't always happen.
If you include 2 copies of each, you know, that increases your chances.
Odds are good.
Like for 4 CP, well, 6 if you include the combat card, but even without the combat card, that would have been still 4 agents sent to the hospital for 4 CP. So of course you have to play motive sight as well.
Yeah. I don't know, for my money with that pusher activator, I'll be like, instead of just discarding, I might as well just play it, you know, when I get the chance. You know, it's like, it seems like, you know, with the flipped card, probably going to get at least some damage applied, right?
Yeah, but it's
not like pusher's limited to like a certain site or something.
No, but it is still 6 CP, so it's like, but I mean, Fox Huntress is very effective, as you just saw.
Yeah, especially with that combat card thrown in there.
Yeah. And again, it shows the usefulness of combat cards.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, just wipe out right there. So what are you? So I'm sorry, Guillaume. To go back to your point, what are we thinking? The cost of the ancillary effect of reducing the cost is no good.
No, it is good. I was just wondering if maybe it was too low. Like,
what is it, 3 CP? Sorry, I don't have the card in front.
Maybe it goes from 9 to 4.
Goes from 9 to 4.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, it
was.
Well,
think on it. Think on it. Yeah, we can revisit at the end of the game or later on. But yeah,
I mean, it would be less effective if I had split my team, and then so yeah, there would be less potential targets on a full team. Even if my team, because also since Fox Huntress gets to pick any agent, and you would obviously choose the strongest agent, so already your team is at a disadvantage. Yeah, I don't know.
What about you, Alastair? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's probably okay. I think it is good. You've got to bear in mind as well that there is the possibility that there's always the possibility that it can be axed or negated in some way. And I think I'm with Guillaume. From what I understand of what Guillaume's saying here, I think the most that I would want to change about it is maybe to add 1 extra to the cost off the back of the discard effect, so that it costs 5 rather than 4 to play if pusher's is in a discard pile. I think that's the most that I personally would choose to tinker with.
Yeah, I suppose, because anything less than that is probably like, is there even any point to having the effect in there and play? You know, if we're just gonna only shave off like a couple of points.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fine. I mean,
I think even that's like is questionable for me. It's marginal. I think it's maybe just okay being 4 and being a good card for it. You want to have some exciting adversaries in sets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not Nathaniel Teeger, so
yeah. Or Joseph Patnick.
Yeah.
Would it be too powerful if instead of the reduced cost, you could say if pusher is in the discard pile, then Fox Huntress can ignore activator requirements? Because then her cost would still be 9, but you'd be able to play her on any site. So I don't know if that would make her more powerful.
I feel like that might be even. Yeah, I feel like that might be even more powerful if she's like, no matter what,
but
she's coming out.
You still have to have your 9 conspiracy points, which is
and you still got to meet the activator, which is what was the activator? Motive or something? Yeah, motive. I don't know. I mean, going that route, I just feel like, yeah, then one might be arguing like her overall cost might need to be maybe slightly upped. I don't know.
I would really lean to just. I think I would lean towards leaving this one as it is. You know, I don't think it's the kind of thing where, even if it's good, even if it's really quite powerful, even if it's one of the most powerful adversaries in the game, I don't think it's like, you know, I don't think it's a game breaker. Like, I don't think you'll be sitting like years from now with like a season 5 tournament going on, being like, I really wish we had nerfed Fox Huntress because it's just unbalanced the entire game. You know, I think you're safe to leave it as it is if you want to.
Okay. Because I feel like when you look at like some of the cards that we've done, like the pusher card exists, we have government sanctioned pheromone experiments, stuff like that like where the agent, or even the mind control combat card, right? Where you have that effect where an agent is put under the control and having to attack a team, right? So I mean, so we do have some precedent for it. It's just I mean, I don't know if it's maybe just in conjunction with this adversary, that maybe it's just too strong. And then so I guess what I'm getting at is like, is it a question of, is her combat skills too high for what we're dealing out? Could that be something where it's like, maybe we just lower her combat skills a little bit, her health or something, you know, and maybe that might strike a balance?
Yeah, I could, because
so imagine in that combat if Guillaume hadn't shot his own agent and had shot Fox Huntress instead. I couldn't have played the combat card, and his agent wouldn't be in hospital either. Or I don't know. There maybe is some path where he winds up in hospital anyway, but I think the combat would have unfolded.
Yeah, because it does say when combat is resolved, the agent is sent to the hospital regardless of health. So
sorry, yeah, that's a really good point. So he would have been in hospital. We have had no damage on him, so he would be straight back in the field next turn, which would have been quite different. So again, I like that was a good combat, but it could have been a worse one, I think, for Fox Huntress.
Okay, had she, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't lower her close range anymore because I don't think I don't think having a 1 in anything in a combat skill is much. So I mean, her health or long range.
I could see a point to maybe either lower her long range to 2, but maybe that's or her health to 3, maybe. Like keep the long range at 3, especially since in the picture we see her with the gun, so that makes sense that she should have some long range, but maybe like she's not that strong a fighter, so a health of 3 would not be too bad. Basically, since she attacks with another agent, like you guarantee that at least one of them will live for the close range combat round. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
But if you drop her health to 3, you open up a bunch of agents more that can one-shot her.
That is true.
Well, yeah.
So I actually am going to go out and say I actually really love this stat line for this card. Like I think it's basically perfect. But that's just my 2 cents.
By the way, what's Pusher's health? Sorry, again, I know you guys both just discarded it, so it's not too far from your
4-3-2 on him as well. So it's identical stat lines on the two of them.
Yeah, it makes sense then. And
I think that's probably where I got the stat lines from.
So I think maybe only increase maybe from 4 to 5, but that is not 100% sure. Like maybe we can just keep that in mind and see if she comes up in other playtests.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
As you said, you do need to have the incentive to say, okay, I'm going to add Pusher to my Bureau deck for that reduced cost, and if it's only reduced by 3 or 4, then you're like, maybe what's the point of wasting space in my deck for potentially a reduced cost?
Yeah. One more at most. At most, I would say. I mean, unless we up her overall cost, which I don't really like. I'm really not a fan of getting into double-digit costs with adversaries or really any cards, period, just because of how infrequent they wind up getting played. I mean, because I'm citing a Kiss of the Vampire as our example, when we never play that card. And why? Because it's just too expensive to play, you know. So
Also,
I don't want to do that here, you know.
Yeah, and it has to be played in conjunction with the witness. So you're like, well,
so hard to do, right? Unless you're playing against me.
and unless you can only play witness during the investigation phase, then that makes it easier.
All right, guys. Good discussion. Definitely food for thought. All right, I'll let you carry on.
All right. Well, so I can safely say that Fairfax County's investigation has failed, and I have 7 cards in my hand, so no discard, and all of my agents are gone. So I'm passing it to you.
Okay, I have 4 cards in hand, so no discarding either in the debriefing, and I'll start by drawing a card. Okay, so creating resource points. I get 2 from Friend in the FBI, which goes down to, I think, 4 counters left on it. 2 from Scully is 4, 1 from 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is 5, 1 from Bonacazzi is 6, and I'm going to put the 2 from Krychek into res as well, so that's a total of 8, which transfers up to 9 res in pool. I think I do want to buy some cards here. I'm going to go ahead and buy 4 cards, I think. So, no, I'll go 3. So I'm down to 6, 3 cards to hand and pass to you for selling and buying for conspiracy.
No, I only have 1 card to sell. I'm going to sell the Hotel James Monroe for 2, and I'll buy. I'll buy 2 cards, and back to you.
Okay, so I actually drew hard evidence there, so I'm just going to play that quickly to net 3 for my res, which takes me up to 9. And healing, I'm not going to healing to do, no requisition going on, deployment, everyone stays in the field, case assignment. I'm going to pay 2 for Coastal Northwest. Oh, no, I can't. I already have a Coastal Northwest Oregon in place, so forget that. I will play the Museum of Natural History in Boston instead. So this is evidence collection 4+ for a method question. And I will pay another 2 for Newark, New Jersey. This is also evidence collection 4+, but for, and it's actually also for a method question as well. So that's my 2 sites.
No bluffs. Hold on, maybe 1. Okay, 1 bluff on the Newark, New Jersey.
Okay. I'm going to use a Scully token to take a peek at the Newark bluff here.
It's a communist calling card Attach this card to an agent at this site. The agent is afflicted with the keyword traitor and may only contribute to subterfuge and combat skill checks until this card is removed. Discard this card when the agent is part of a team that successfully investigates a site. Basically,
oh yeah, I remember this one from earlier. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm going to split up like this. Put 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and Scully together, and 𝐵onacaze and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 together. We'll send 𝐵onacaze and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 to the Museum of Natural History and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and Scully to Newark, and we will start at the Museum of Natural History. So this is evidence collection 4+. 𝐵onacaze has 2, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has 2, so they are just squeaking through on this investigation at the moment.
I will pay 2 to play Laser Barrier to prevent 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 from contributing his skills to the site skill check.
Nice. Yeah, so that will stop him from contributing. 𝐵onacaze's 2 on its own is not enough to succeed here, so I will send that to the discard pile. And move to the next investigation in Newark.
So unfortunately, I cannot pay the cost. So you are free to ask your question.
Okay, I'm back to learning more about this new checklist here. I feel like okay, I will ask, is your method possession?
My method is possession, yes.
A lucky break. What's that I want?
That crosses off a lot of possibilities for you.
Yeah, it was a really lucky get. It's going all the way down to 5 possibilities left. But I think I'm gonna, especially since this is a playtest game, I'm gonna hang on for a later turn. I like to get down to 3 possibilities anyway before I start guessing things. So I'll just move Newark to the discard and pass back to you for your investigating turn.
All right, so I'll draw my free card. I will not be generating any res. And I will not be buying any cards.
I've got a Nurse Owens for 6 and Coast Northwest Oregon for 2 for a total of 8. So, but plus 2 from Rejuvenating Caves is 10, so jump up to 14. And going to go ahead and buy 5 cards here, so down to 9 conspiracy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, so Steven asks how much RP does Cholera goes for. Well, he generates 10 RPs.
And I will throw it back to you for the rest of your turn there, Guillaume.
So, well, healing, yeah, I do need to do some healing. So, Foriki heals 2, Holly heals 1, Crazy heals 2, Fuller 1, and Langley heals 2. And for deployment, well, no one has a health of 3 at the moment, so no one can leave the hospital. So there will be no deployment, no case assignment, no investigation phase. And we can move straight to debriefing. And I have 7 cards in my hand.
I am 1 card over. I'm going to discard Hail to the Section Chief. I don't think you've got many targets that bluff affects, so even though it's a playtest card, I will discard it. And yeah, I'll start my turn by drawing a card. Okay, and then generating some resources. So 2 from a friend in the FBI, which takes down to 2 left. And then 6 from the rest of the team. I'm going to add that all into my res pool for a total of 8, which bumps me up to 13 in res. I will buy a single card and pass it to you for selling and buying yourself there, Guillaume.
So I will sell Hotel James Monroe for 2, the 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 camera for 5, and Jeremiah Smith for 5. So that's 12, puts me at 14. And I will buy 4 cards. And back to you.
Nice. I'm going to start by paying 1 to... Now, actually, you guys can tell me whether I'm right about this or not. Can I have a second bedside vigil in play?
I would say yes. If it's attached to someone else.
I remember there being something about, is it that you can't play 2 cards of the same name in a turn rather than have 2 of them in play?
Now, see, I'm thinking of equipment as well as events. Now, equipment, I feel like equipment's a special case where you can requisition 2 copies of it, but you just can't apply both to the same skill check. Events, but I feel like equipment's a different beast, though. I feel like that's a special case.
Also, for equipment, I don't think.
Well, training cards, right? What if if we can put the same training card on 2 different agents, right? I mean, trying to think of like an example, and I know like people like want to do like 2 rejuvenating caves and 2 friend in the FBI's, and I feel like that's where we're kind of like back off, you know, because then it just gets kind of crazy, right? What do...
It's the same thing. For instance, could agents have 2 copies of the same expenditure card? That would make sense. Like, my team is strong in computers, so I could potentially have 2 copies of Welcome to Highland in my deck, and then you could you could not equip 2 of the same card to the same agent, but
yeah, I mean, in this case, you wouldn't want to do that anyway. But yeah, but then again, yeah.
I mean, I think
go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I mean, I'm just glad that card is getting played. You know, we haven't seen that one prior, so kudos, Alastair. Not once, but twice you're putting that bedside vigil to use. Sorry, Guillaume, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, you could not have 2 copies of Friend in the FBI, for instance, in play at the same time.
I don't like that.
Or 2 copies of the same witness, But
Yeah. I mean,
like,
because David Peace would have a cow if 2 Kevin Morrises were out on the mat. I mean, he'd be like, screw this game, I'm done.
Yeah,
yes,
and I'm sure that there's between the ancillary documentation and the Little Red Book, there is a definitive answer somewhere to this, but I just can't quite bring it to mind where that answer lurks in them. So, I'm happy
Given
to
that
play
the
either way, Guillaume. So if you're happy with me playing it, I will put it on an agent. If not, I will take it back and do something else.
Well, no, you can play it. If anything, I should have included 2 copies of that card in my deck and should have
Oh man, yeah.
my agents. That would have been useful.
Yeah, this is a great case for that. And hey, you know what? What if I think there's room on the card, right? I don't have it in front of me, but can I just say you can have? I can just put the bottom of the text. You can have up to 2 copies of this card in play.
I think maybe that would just confuse things.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, it's a good card, like, as it's proven to be the case. But yeah, I'd say this is a playtest game. We're trying it out. I want to see the card, and you know what? We can get hit up later on by the rules overlords and say, nope, all event resources, only 1 copy may exist at any given time. It's really kind of a weird situation where obviously I think we're all in agreement. We don't want to see like 2 friend in the FBI's in play, right? Simultaneously. No one wants to see that. Well, except for the person who's got 2 friend in the FBI's in their hand, just them. But here, like, I feel like this is such an innocuous card that I mean, except like in Guillaume's case, I'm like, he wishes he had 2 attached to his agents right now, because at least he'd be generating some res in his next turn. But I don't know. I feel like it's, at least for the purposes of this playtest, it's pretty innocuous. So I say go with it for now.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. So that being done, I will do some case assignment here. I'm going to spend 4 in total, dropping me to 7 res. I have 2 for Lake 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, which is Alien Investigation 4+, and a motive question, and 2 for Olympic National Forest, which is Evidence Collection 4+ with a result question.
So it's alien investigation and evidence collection, correct?
Yep, alien investigation and motive at 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, and evidence collection and result at Olympic National.
Okay. So we'll do that. All right, so no bluffs, but before we leave the case assignment phase, I'm going to pay 2 to play Distrust. Play this card during your opponent's case assignment phase. 2 agents, my choice, may not contribute to any of the same skill checks this turn. And unless you're negating that card, I will be, I'll say that 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 can contribute to the same skill check.
Okay, brill. So they can't contribute the same skill check. I'm going to use a Spooler token here to ask for any 9s in your hand, Guillaume.
No 9s.
Okay. Right. So yeah, this I guess kind of makes things probably a bit simpler in terms of my decision making. Let's try. I think everyone goes to. Oh, actually. No, I think it still makes sense to do it this way. Everyone goes to Olympic National Forest here.
Okay. So how much evidence collection do you have now?
Yeah, so evidence collection 4+ is the prerequisite. I have to either pick 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 or 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. I can't have them both contribute. So let's say 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is adding 2 evidence collection, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is adding 2 evidence collection, and Scully is adding 2 for a total of 6.
Okay. So I will. All right, I will pay 4 to play Courage in a Bottle at full cost. Decrease all of the skill levels on one agent, my choice, by 2 for this turn only. So unless you're negating it, I will say that I will decrease all of Scully's skills by 2.
Sure, yeah, you got it.
So now you only have 4, but it's still enough to pass the skill check, correct?
Yeah, that's right, as it stands at the moment, yeah.
Okay, so I will pay my final 4 to play more quagmire. Attach this card to an agent in the bureau section or that is investigating a site. The agent is afflicted with the keyword traitor and may only contribute to subterfuge and combat skill checks until this card is removed. Discard this card when an agent is part of a team that successfully investigates a site. This card is free if played on a keyword neutral agent. So I will, actually it's free, so I'm going to play it on 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 because he has a keyword neutral. Yeah. So 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 can only contribute his skills to subterfuge skill checks and combat skill checks.
And that takes me out to only having 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 contributing, which is just 2 evidence collection from him, which is not enough to complete the site. So I will send Olympic National Forest to the discard pile. Lego Kaboji also doesn't have a bluff on it, I think I'm right in saying, so it will be discarded too. And debriefing phase, I have 6 cards in hand, so no discarding, at least for me.
Okay, and I have 5 cards. So 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has the Insanity on Rye and Moral Quagmire cards attached to him.
That's right, yeah, he's racking up the conditions.
Well, that was quite a difficult investigation for me to try to stop. Okay, so I'm drawing my free card. I'll generate still no res, and I will not be buying any cards, and I'll pass it to you to sell and buy.
So I'll get 2 conspiracy from my rejuvenating caves, leaving that on 4 counters, and I think that's going to be it. So I would tick up to 11, but I'm going to spend 2 of them on buying cards, so I go back down to 9, and 2 cards to hand. Okay, and then pass back to you for the rest of your turn again.
Okay, so healing 4 Hickey heals 2, Crosby heals 2, Langley heals 2, Patton and Fuller heal 1. And no requisition for deployment. Okay, I'm going to bring 4 Hickey, Kresge, and Langley out of the hospital. Kresge and Langley both have 1 damage token remaining on them. And Patton and Fuller have to stay in the hospital for 1 more turn. For case assignment, I'm going to send them. Well, I'm not going to play any new site for case assignments, so I have the Arecibo Puerto Rico site already in play. It's investigation and computer, affiliation and method.
Now this is a good question. Do I get like another chance to attach bluffs face down, or
yes?
How does that work when it's already in play?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 bluffs on that one.
Okay, so I'm sending everyone to the site. I'll be using computer, and since there is 1 token on the lone gunman event card, the prerequisite is 4+. So it's computer 4+, and I have 9 computer for now.
Okay, so my first bluff here is Nasty Surprise. So this will only cost 2 because it's face down. Adds 5 tokens to my conspiracy pool. So I would net 3 if you don't want to counter it or anything.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yes, that drops you up to 12 in the conspiracy pool. This next one, I think I might wind up not paying for this, but I just need to check something first. This is Brotherly Disapproval. It's a season 5 playtest card, and it's only going to be relevant if you have both a skeptic and a believer on your team here. And I don't think you do, but I'm not.
Actually, I do. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has the keyword skeptic, and the 2 gunmen have the keyword believer.
Okay, so I will pay for this card and see if I can do anything useful with it. So I go
what-
down to 11 conspiracy.
Yeah, so what's the effect?
Yeah, so play this card to prevent 1 skeptic agent from combining their skills with any keyword believer agents. Your opponent may choose whether the target agent or the believer agents will contribute to the site skill check. This card is free if played on agent Dana Scully. I will go ahead and play it, and I think your gunman can still pass the check, though.
So it's any skill checks or just the site skill check?
From combining their skills, it just says, yeah, from combining their skills with any keyword believer agents.
Right, so it's for the whole turn, basically.
Okay. And any other skill checks occurring at this site, it says as well, yeah.
And it's you who decide, or is it me who decide who contributes or not?
Your opponent may choose whether the target agent or the believer agents will contribute to the site skill check. So it's okay. You'll choose.
Well, I'm not taking any chances. I'll use Langley's token to negate the bluff.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So
it is off
to the discard.
I don't know what nasty cards you have in store for me, so I might be best to play it safe for now.
That's very understandable. Can you just remind me of the keywords on this one again, Ian?
On the side. It's affiliation and method.
And so what are the skill check prerequisites on?
It's alien investigation or computer.
Computer, okay. Nope, I think you're home free to ask a question. Go for it.
Right, so I will ask an affiliation question. Is your affiliation primordial?
It is not primordial, no.
Okay. So the site is discarded as well as the lone gunman. And for debriefing, I have 6 cards in my hand.
Okay. And 6 for me as well, actually. Yeah, okay. I will start my turn by drawing a card. And creating some resource points. I'm going to lose my last 2 off friending the FBI, so I'll go to the discard pile. And I'm going to put all 8 res that I get with that from the FBI into the resource pool, take me to 15. And I'm going to go ahead and draw 5 cards with that, so back down to 10. And I will throw it over to you for your conspiracy buying and selling.
So I'll buy. I will sell 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 for 3 and pathologist Vicky Bellon for 3 as well. That's 6, puts me at 10. And I will buy 4 cards. I'll buy 3 cards. And back to you.
Okay, so I've got any healing to do. I do have some more requisitioning to do, and I'm going to pay 3, 1, 2, 3, to play the Urov Koltov Star of Russia. So this is the one that I had to discard earlier. Attach this card to an agent in the field. Discard this card to allow the attached agent to investigate 2 sites in different states or countries in 1 turn. And I will attach that to... Who will I attach that to? I think that's going to go on Krychek, his ever-growing list of things that are going on with him. And I also have an event to play. I'm going to pay 3, take me down to 4, to play Emily Sim. This is a Season 5 playtest card. Attach this card to a witness resource. If at any time the witness is discarded or removed from the game, place this card in Agent Scully to add the following modifiers to your skills. +1 behavioral, +2 alien investigation, +1 health. In addition, Scully may not be afflicted with the keyword cancer. And I'm going to attach that to Harold Spoor.
That's a good card to have when you have Scully on your team and you have resource witnesses that you discard after removing their tokens, because basically you benefit from the witness and then you benefit from Emily Sim. That's good.
Yeah, I spent like a notable amount of time this afternoon going through the card pool, working out what the best way to get Emily Sim into play was in this. So this is kind of where I landed. And immediately I will use the last counter on Spoiler, asking you, I think, how many conspiracy points do you have there, Guillaume?
I have 7.
Okay, so I think this time I will ask if you are holding any... Do you have any 6s in your hand?
I have 1. So I only have to show you, right? To show you.
Yeah, just it's your opponent must show you all cards in their hand that cost the same as the chosen number. Yeah.
So I have 1 adversary. I have 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 goes viral.
Okay. Which, if I remember, is yeah. There's some very specific things going on about. I don't think. No, the Koltov isn't electrical. So okay, right. Cool.
So basically, you're safe from that one.
Cool. Spoiler will go to the discard. Because he's discarded, Emily Sim's effect will take place, and I will attach. Place this card on Scully for the listed effects. And deployment, everyone staying in the field. Case assignment. Now, Krychek is stuck only investigating subterfuge sites at the moment, is that right?
Yes, that is correct. You can only contribute to subterfuge and combat skill checks.
This is an interesting choice. And can he contribute to combat at the moment, Guillaume?
Yeah. Yes, he can. Yeah, subterfuge and combat. Yes.
Okay.
And that's a card that's more useful when your opponent's team does not have any subterfuge, but
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I've worked out how I'm going to go about doing this. So I'm going to lose 3 resources here, going into 1 to play 2 sites. So we've got Icy Cape, Alaska. That's evidence collection of 4+ for the result question. And Tunguska, Siberian Forest, which is either an investigation 5+, subterfuge 5+, affiliation, or result question.
okay.
Do you have any bluffs for either of them?
So evidence collection 4+, and then it's alien investigation or subterfuge 5+. Okay.
Spot on, yeah.
All right. So, so I have no bluffs.
Okay.
All this suspense for nothing.
So I think this is the sensible way to do it. Covarrubias and Krychek at Tunguska and Bonakaze and Scully at Icy Cape. And I'll start with Krychek and Covarrubias at Tunguska doing subterfuge 5+. Krychek has 4, Covarrubias has 2 for a total of 6 at the moment.
All right, so I will pay 3 to play Whoever Justifies the Conspiracy. Play this card to immediately force any agent with the keyword traitor back to the bureau. The agent may not contribute to any skill checks this turn.
Nice, that seems like an excellent use of that card. So Krychek makes his way back to the bureau. Got Covarrubias left, but sadly 2 subterfuges, nowhere near enough to get this site done, so I will move it to the discard pile. And move on to Icy Cape, which is evidence collection 4+, and I've got Scully contributing 2 and Bonakaze contributing 2 here for a total of 4, so just making a skill check on this one.
So I will pay 4 to play my second moral quagmire and I will attach that card to Scully, meaning that she can only contribute to subterfuge and combat skill checks, and she will also have the keyword traitor.
Nice. Okay, so with her not being able to contribute, that means Bonakaze only has 2 evidence collection, and so can't complete the site. So I'll move Icy Cape to discard pile. And so 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and Scully are in the bureau. Bonakaze and Covarrubias are still on the field. And I will go to my debrief step. I have one card too many. So I'm going to discard. Sadly, I don't think I'm going to get much of an opportunity to use this. I'm going to discard Unnatural Prowler here to go down to 7.
Okay, and I have 5 cards.
And over to you for your turn.
So I will draw my free card. I'll generate my res, which is 5. And I'll buy 3 cards. And back to you.
I'm going to sell my second copy of Emily's Sin for 3. I get 2 from Rejuvenating Caves. That's a total of 5. And yeah, I think I just use all of those 5 to buy cards. Do I? Yeah, I'll go for it. 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pass you first your turn.
Right, so Holy, Healing, Holy, and Fuller each heal 1. For requisition, I'm not requisitioning anything. For deployment, Holy and Fuller are going back to the field to join the rest of the team. And for case assignment, I'll go investigate. Oh, let's just go back to Arecibo, Puerto Rico. It costs 1. It's alien investigation 5+ or computer 5+. And that's it. So I'll wait for any bluff that you may have.
What are the questions for this side game?
Oh, sorry. It's affiliation or method.
Okay, affiliation. And sorry, can you remind me again the prerequisites on this?
Alien investigation or computer.
Okay. I will. Yeah, I'll put two bluffs on this, I think. Sorry, bear with me just a second to check one last thing.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that will do. Two bluffs.
Right, so I'm sending everyone to the site. I'll use computer, and I have 11 computer for now.
Okay. So my first bluff is a nasty surprise to gain 3 conspiracy.
Do you need any more conspiracies?
Right, I got to 14 here. And then the second is playtest card, 5 alarm fire. If the team fails the skill site check, your opponent must discard 1 active card in their hand and skips their next briefing phase. Unless this card is negated, remove it from the game after it's resolved.
Hmm. I'll pay 2 to negate that.
Okay, so goes off to the discard pile. And then I will pay 6, take me down to 8 for Slime Goes Viral playtest cards. Oh, actually, did I get this wrong? Is this a result site again?
Oh no, it's affiliation or method.
Oh, my apologies. I actually can't play that. So, well, that's just not allowed. So, I think.
I mean, if you just want to if you just want to say okay, just to like play out the.
No, it's okay. I will take that back. I will take that back in its entirety here. Because it's definitely not allowed by the rules. So.
No, I agree, but it's just because we've never seen that card being playtested. Just maybe see how that would actually work. Like we will not send any agents to the hospital, but just say, okay, if the activator had been different, how would that have played out? That way we can see if the cost is good or if the card needs to be changed.
Okay, yeah, so I would have gone down to 8 conspiracy, which might be relevant here, and then it would have attacked for 1 round of long range combat for 7 damage, which I could have split amongst anyone with a computer skill, cellular phone, or an equipment card that modifies computer skill. So that would have just been computer skill on your team. And I think does Holly have computer skill? She doesn't, right? Does she, or does she?
Yes, they all have computer.
Apart from Fuller, right? Is that right?
Oh yes, that's right. Fuller doesn't. Oh, so Fuller would be immune from the card. So basically, you could choose from any of the 4 agents. So yeah, that means that you could split the 7 long range among my 4 agents if you wanted.
And I feel like the best I could do with that would be to get Langley and Holly into the hospital.
And you know that would actually work because since Langley still has 1 damage token on him, so he only has a health of 4. So you could either send Holly and Langley or Holly and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 because he also has a health of 4. So that means that for a 6 RP, you could send 2 agents to the hospital. Oh, not bad.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But sadly, I'm not allowed to do that. You have yourself a question instead, Guillaume.
Okay, good. Well, I think my agents have been... I've seen the inside of a hospital enough for this game, so it's affiliation or method. Well, I'll go with another affiliation. Is your affiliation evolutionary?
It is not evolutionary, no.
I cannot catch a break this.
Yeah, I'm unlucky.
Well, at least I have you down to 2 affiliations now, but you're still way ahead. Well, the site is discarded, and for debriefing, I have 7 cards in my hand.
I have 9, so I have to discard a couple, and I think there are ones that are just like either not relevant or very close to not relevant in this game. I've got Hail to the Section Chief when I don't think you have anyone with bureaucracy or medical on your team, and Talismanic Forces.
𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and Pattern do have bureaucracy.
Oh, okay. It was maybe more useful than I thought, but I'll stick with it. So Hail to the Section Chief and Talismanic Forces off to the discard pile. And I will start my turn by drawing a card. And then, yeah, we've got some res to make. So yeah, certainly I don't feel like cry checks need to go into conspiracy anymore. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into res, takes up to 7. And I will. I'm not going to buy any cards. I'm just going to pass to you for buying and selling for conspiracy here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will sell Virgil Incanto's Apartment for 2, Michael 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 for 2, and Darlene Maurice for 3. That's a total of 7. And I will buy 3 cards. And back to you.
Okay, this D10, for anyone who's wondering on Scully, is just reminding me that she has that same card effect going on her that 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 does at the moment. So healing, no healing to do, requisition, nothing going on there. Deployment, everyone is moving back to the field because they have a couple in the bureau. And I am going to... Can't quite remember if this works how I would hope it will, but 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Dr. 𝐗-𝐼𝐥e𝐬. Place 2 tokens on this card once per turn. You may remove a token to select 1 res card from your discard pile and add it to your hand. If the chosen card has the alien investigation or behavioral keywords, the cost to play it is reduced by 1. Discard this card when the last token is removed. And so I will use one of his tokens straight away to go and look for a res card from my discard pile. And yeah, I will. I will grab Tunguska back from the discard pile, and because it's the alien investigation keyword, it's going to cost me 1 less to play this turn.
So it's free then.
So yeah, free, yeah. So for case assignment, I will play Tunguska for free, which is alien investigation 5+, or subterfuge 5+, affiliation or result question. And I will also pay 2 for Icy Cape Alaska, which is evidence collection 4+, result question, and I will pass to you for any bluffs that you might want to put down.
So I have 3 bluffs for Tunguska.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna use Scully's last token here to take a look at the bottom bluff on that pile.
All right, so the last one.
Yeah.
It's Uncanny Seduction. The cost of any primordial or evolutionary adversaries played at this site is reduced by 2 for each female agent on the team. It costs 1 but 0 since it's face down.
Okay, interesting. So I think Bonikaze goes to Icy Cape, Krychek, Covarrubius, and Scully go to Tunguska, and we see what these 3 bluffs are, or at least the 2 that we don't know.
So, before we reveal the bluffs, which skills will you be using?
So we're going for Subterfuge 5+. Actually, I don't think it makes a huge difference. Let me just think about this though. Yeah, we've got to go for Subterfuge because the card effect that's in play. Subterfuge 5+, there's 4 Subterfuge on Krychek, 2 Subterfuge on Covarrubius, and none on Scully. So there's a total of 6, and the requirement is 5.
Okay, so before we do anything else, I'm going to play Trail Gone Cold. It costs 3. Play this card on a site immediately after your opponent has assigned agents and before bluffs are revealed. Unless this card is negated, only agents with an observation skill of 1+ may contribute their skills to any skill checks occurring at this site.
Okay, and I think Covarrubius has observation, but I don't think any of the rest of them
Scully also has, but Krychek doesn't.
Krychek doesn't, yeah, which is I guess the important one here. And I think, yeah, there's nothing really that I can do to get around that. So yeah, only 2 subterfuge. I needed 5, so technically, I suppose you can play any of the bluffs that you might want to at this point. Otherwise, they'll go to the discard pile.
Yeah, well, they're all true bluffs.
Okay. So the site goes to the discard.
Yeah.
And yeah, because Krychek can only contribute to subterfuge checks, there's no point in moving him to Icy Cape using the equipment card because it's an evidence collection site. So poor Bonikaze is left there with 2 evidence collection, which is not enough to hit the 4+ prerequisite. So Icy Cape also goes to the discard pile. And I'm just going to check for debriefing. I'm at 6 cards.
Yeah, only have 3 cards.
I'll pass to you for your turn.
All right, so I'll draw my free card. I'll generate my 6 res. It's me at 7. And I will buy 4 cards. I'll buy 5 cards. And back to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell Newark, New Jersey for 2. I get my last 2 from Rejuvenating Caves, so I get 4, which puts me up to 18. And I'm going to buy 6 cards, so back down to 12 and 6 to hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And past you.
So no hitting, no requisition. Everyone stays in the field. And for case assignment, we're going to go to Farmington, New Mexico. It costs 1. It's alien investigation or computer, motive or method.
No bluffs.
So I'll send everyone. I'll use computer, and I have 11 computer.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to pay 6, going down to 6 to play Pusher. So yeah, we've seen this card a couple of times now. Yeah, would you like to negate him, Guillaume?
Well, with only 1.
Oh,
yeah. I wish I could,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
so,
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the flip is the first thing that will happen here, right?
Yes. So I'll say even, and it is even.
Nice. Okay.
And you force me to discard manipulate the circumstances. So that means that combat proceeds as normal. So Pusher deals 3 long range, and I will deal 9. So killing him.
Yeah, he will definitely be dead. I think sort of Langley is 5 health, Frohickey is 4 health, Kresge, how much health does Kresge have?
Is 5. So basically, with you could send Patton or Fuller to the hospital with the 3 long range.
And Patton is only a 2 health agent. That's right.
But she has a health of 3, and Fuller as well.
Okay, so yeah, we'll go for that. We'll have Pusher do 3 damage to Holly Patton.
Okay. Which makes sense since he targets her in the episode. He doesn't
very thematically appropriate. And then I'm going to play my second Fox Huntress of the game here. This is a motive site this time, isn't it? I've not got it wrong again.
Yes.
Okay, so I dropped down to 2 conspiracy. So I think I steal Kresge again. I think that makes the most sense to just repeat that. And we have long range combat. So what's your long range between the 3 guys there?
Not much. It's only 4.
Okay.
So I will kill Fox Huntress.
Makes sense after last time. And I have Kresge has 3 long range, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think my best plan here is to just pile everything onto. How much computer does Frohickey have?
Frohickey has 3.
And Langley has 3 as well.
No, yes.
4. Okay, so we'll pile all the damage onto Langley. So
whose damage are you inflicting to
So Fox Huntress will deal 3 to him, and Kresge will deal 3 to him.
So 3 to Heiki? Or to
And actually,
Langley?
3 to Langley, and then 3 more to Langley. I can't split it, so it will just, I guess, total him out at 5, and
he's gone.
And because of the game effect of Fox Huntress, Kresge goes to the hospital, although he, it's not as a result of damage.
Well, I think so. Fox Huntress goes to the hospital, but I'm not sure her going also means that Kresge goes. So, like, doesn't.
And when combat is resolved, the agent is immediately sent to the hospital, regardless of health, and may not leave until fully healed. Is the clause that affects Kresge.
Okay, so if Fox Huntress is gone, then Kresge is going as well immediately. Doesn't continue fighting the other 2 agents.
No. Oh, actually, that's a good question. I don't know if Fox Huntress is dead. Is Kresge still in her thrall for continuing to fight?
Well, it would make sense that he isn't.
In conjunction with this adversary, one agent, your choice, will attack their fellow agents for 1 round of long-range combat and close-range combat. So maybe he attacks for just the 1 round. Steven, if you're around, you can chime in on this.
Yeah, I think you make a good point saying that if Fox Huntress is dead, then she no longer controls the agent. Which kind of makes it a good point when that card is played against you to target Fox Huntress first instead of targeting the afflicted agent like I did during my first round, during the first fight.
Can you remember, Guillaume, does any other adversary card use the wording in conjunction with?
Well, you get the Kiss of the Vampire one.
I'm trying to remember. I've got your site up. I'll just quickly have a look. If I can. Because I think this is the crucial thing, is that you need to be able to distinguish on this card. There needs to be a rules, some sort of language that forms the basis for a rules mechanic that distinguishes this card in terms of saying, like, if this adversary goes away, the agent that's been used by her goes. There's a basis for that as well, and that's a lot easier if. That's a lot easier if the wording on this card is unique than if it shares that wording, that specific in conjunction with wording with, say, Kiss of the Vampire.
I think, looking, because I do have a PDF
or Terry and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 are the other ones that.
But it does not say in conjunction, though. Because I have a PDF file with all of the text on the commercially released cards, and if I type conjunction, it only brings up Kiss of the Vampire. So I think Terry and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 might not have that.
What's the overwhelming force?
Terry and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 does say they attack simultaneously, treat as one combat. So that's different.
And overwhelming force does the same as well. So what does the psychosis card say again? We might as well, if we can just double check this just now, save some time. Don't reduce psychosis.
Well, it says
right, so
the card. Yeah, no.
So the best thing about this is that none of these other cards that do this thing of bringing someone else into combat use the phrase in conjunction with this adversary. And so thematically, if you're like, no, the agent shouldn't still be attacking if the adversary leaves, that's your thematic basis for it. And then the rules coding for it is that whenever this phrase in conjunction with this adversary appears in the game, you're saying that by the rules, the adversary has to remain in play for the effect that's being described thereafter to take place, would be my suggestion of how to code that. So Steven's not at his laptop, but Steven, you can tell us what you think of that in chat, I think.
Yeah.
So I will send Fox Huntress to the discard pile, and Kresge remains in play.
No, Kresge is going to the house. Oh yeah. He remains in play and he attacks the other ones. Correct? Or are we saying that? Where do we land?
Oh no, sorry. When the combat is resolved, the agent is immediately sent to the hospital. Sorry, he would go to the hospital, right?
Yes, but regardless.
But he wouldn't attack.
So it doesn't. But is he sent to the hospital with 0 health, or just sent to the hospital?
Just sent to the hospital. Yeah, he doesn't take any damage or anything to do that. It's just a game effect. So, yeah.
Okay. So I only have 2 agents remaining in the field, but I only have 3 computer and I need 5. So, well, that's it for Farmington then. At least not all of them got sent to the hospital this time.
They survived.
And also, you got rid of your 2 pushers and your 2 Fox Huntresses, so should be okay.
And Steven is chipping in, I think, effectively saying that he's happy with the way we played it, and that reflects his intent with the cards. So that's good to know.
Oh, good. All right, so for debriefing, I think I have more than 7 cards this time. Yeah, I have 8 cards. I'm going to discard Shared Madness. And I now have 7 cards, and I'll pass it to you.
I have 9 cards. I'm going to discard some stuff here. I am going to. Oh no, that's probably not a good idea. I'll discard Divide and Conquer and the the Museum of Natural History, and draw a card for my turn. And make some res. So I've got 6 res coming in. I'm going to put that all into the res pool, setting up to 7. And I will pass. Hold on. Do I want to buy some cards? No, I'm not going to buy any cards here. So I'll just pass to you, Guillaume, for selling and buying for Conspiracy.
Well, just to show you that if I had enough resource during my, if I had enough resources during my previous turn, I had Kill Switch and I had X in my hand, but unfortunately I could not pay for them. But I will sell them now. So I will sell Kill Switch for 4, X for 3, Esther Nerm for 3, and the Walter PPK for 4. So that's 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that's 14. Puts me at 15. And I will buy 5 cards, 6 cards. I'll buy 6 cards. No, just 5. That's enough, hopefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And back to you.
So nothing happening in the turn until we hit case assignment for me. No, actually, I guess I'll do this before case assignment. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Actually, I'm going to use 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬's token here, his other token, to just grab a resource card quickly. I'm actually going to grab a hard evidence. I need some more money in the bank here, so I do not get that any cheaper with his ability, so I will pay 2 to gain 3 unless you want to counter it at all, Guillaume.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so that will take me up to 10 res. And I'm going to spend... this is tough. I'm going to spend... Oh, I'm going to spend 3 to play Darlene Morris, who is a witness. Place 3 tokens on this card. Discard a token, tag 2 to one team's alien investigation skill. You may discard a token once per turn. Discard this resource when all tokens have been discarded.
And Emily Sims, I forget how much alien investigation does she add to Scully? Is it 2?
2, yeah, 2 plus 2 alien investigation. But of course, Scully has the game effect running on her at the moment, where she can only contribute to subterfuge checks. And then I'm going to pay 1 to play Tunguska, which is alien investigation 5+ or subterfuge 5+. You may ask an affiliation or a result question. And that's going to be it. So I will invite you if you want to play any bluffs on that side to do so now.
I have 1 bluff for that site.
Okay, I am going to send the whole team in on that site and we'll see what you've got.
Okay, so the bluff is chemically induced paranoia. It costs 5, but 4 since it was face down, puts me down to 6. Force all opposing agents with the keyword insanity to go immediately to the hospital undamaged. The afflicted agents may not contribute to any skill checks this turn.
So I'm just going to make sure I've got this right. That is cry check at the moment, right?
Yes.
Okay, so cry check goes back to, was it the hospital or the bureau?
Hospital, but undamaged.
Hospital undamaged. Okay, I will push him off to one side to indicate that he's in the hospital. And that leaves me with 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 chipping in 2 subterfuge. Nothing coming from anyone else. I'm going to pay 5, take me down to 1, to play Smoke and Mirrors 5 to drop this to subterfuge 2 to pass. Yeah.
Yes, that works. Unfortunately for me.
Yes. Crawl over that line. I mean, incredibly sadly, Krychek is not going to get his status removed from him, which would have been really nice here. But Scully will at least get her
Yeah,
get
that's too
her token off here, so that she can contribute to other stuff in the future. And I have an affiliation or a result question. I think affiliation is my best bet here, and I will ask you, Guillaume, is your affiliation occult?
yes, it is.
Okay, sadly, that was the one with the most options, so it does narrow me down to 3. Guillaume, is your X-File Gargoyle Spirit?
No, it's not.
Okay. So yeah, go for it with your penalty question when you're ready.
So I can ask an affiliation or an identity question. Well, I'll go with the affiliation.
Sure.
Is your affiliation alien?
It is alien, yes.
Oh, finally. Okay. All right. So I have 7 cards in my hand.
Okay. I have 5 in mine. So I will pass to you for your turn.
Okay, so I'll draw my free card. I'll generate my 2 res, puts me at 3. And, well, I will not be buying any cards.
Okay, I am
Or
going to
maybe
sell.
You know what? I might. You know, I might as well just draw one. So I'm drawing.
Okay.
Oh, and that's hard evidence.
Pays off.
So, well, and I have the 2, just so I will pay 2, and
Yeah.
to add 5.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, and back to you, passing to Saladin.
I will sell 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and Olympic National Forest for a total of 6, which takes me up to 8. And I will spend 2 on buying cards, drops me to 6. And with that, I will pass to you for the rest of your turn.
All right, so 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 heals 1. Langley heals, that was the only damage taken on him from previous combat. Langley heals 2 and Patton heals 1. No requisition. For deployment, I'm going to bring 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 out of the hospital. And for case assignment, I'm going to play. London County, Virginia for 2. It's computer for plus, and it's a motive question.
Okay. No bluffs.
So I'm sending all of them to the site, and I have 5 computer.
I am going to use Agent Bonacazzi's token to force Frohike back to the Bureau.
I was hoping that you would forget his effect.
Worth a shot.
Yes. Okay, well, now I only have 2 computer and well, I don't have enough resources to do anything about that. So yeah, that works, unfortunately. So the site goes to the Discord pile. And for debriefing, I have 7 cards in my hand.
And 5 for me here. So I'll start my turn by drawing a card. I'm going to make some res. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 in the hospital, so nothing from him. But 4 comes in from the rest of the team, puts him into 5. Nothing happens until deployment, at which point I'll bring 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 back into the field.
Okay,
Do you have
so
something you want me to?
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about you selling Guillaume. My bad. Go ahead.
I'm going to sell the shotgun for 6 and the Star of Russia for 3. That's 9, puts me at 15. And I will buy 5 cards. I'll buy 4 cards or 5 cards. And back to you.
Okay. Yeah, so nothing happens till deployment, at which point I bring 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 back out to the field with the rest of the team. Case assignment goes like this. I pay 2 for 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, which is alien investigation 4+ and a motive question. And pay 1 for Hong Kong, which is evidence collection 5+ or subterfuge 5+, and a method or a result question. I will pass it to you for any bluffs that you want to play.
So alien and motive, evidence collection, subterfuge, result, or method.
Spot on, you got it, yeah.
So I have 2 bluffs for 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, which is alien and motive. So 2 bluffs for that one.
Anything for Hong Kong at all, Guillaume?
And 1 bluff for Hong Kong.
Okay. So dividing up the teams for this.
There is 1 card that I would have loved to be able to play, but you forced me to discard it with Pusher. It was the Dino Transplantation card, and you have to attach it to an agent in the hospital, and it's free if the agent has the keyword trader. And I was so glad to finally be able to put 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 in the hospital, but yeah.
You did all the setup only for the card to be robbed by Pusher. Yeah, frustrating. I think this is how I'm going to divide the teams up here. So we've got Scully at 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, and we've got 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, Bonacasi at Hong Kong, and we're going to start the investigation at Hong Kong.
Okay.
And sorry, just to clarify, I'm going to be attempting a subterfuge check there, 5+. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 will contribute 4, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 will contribute 2.
Okay. So the bluff in Hong Kong is security checkpoint, which, is it worth it to play it? Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to pay 2 to play security checkpoint. So only agents with a subterfuge value of 1+ will be able to contribute their skills to this site. So that means that 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 will be able to, but Bonacasi won't be able to.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to pay 8, so empty out my conspiracy pool, to play a natural prowler, which has the activator of method site. Can you negate that card?
No, I can't negate it. Can I just double check on security checkpoint the exact wording on? Does it specify all skill checks of the site?
So it says play this card to prevent all agents from contributing their skills to this site, except agents with a subterfuge skill value of 1+.
So am I right in thinking that Bonacasi can engage in combat here at least?
I played this card with the understanding that he would not be able to contribute to the combat. So maybe Steven can clarify if he is listening. Because it does not say to, because as I understand it, and I might be wrong, but it does not say to one skill check, like on laser barrier, or it does not say to the site skill check. It's like their skills to this site. So basically they are at the site and they cannot contribute, but I might be wrong. But that is the intent of me playing security checkpoint, to prevent him from contributing.
And I see exactly where you're coming from. And my only thought is that we have some cards in the game, right, that say that explicitly state all skill checks occurring at this site, I think. And so yeah, there's a little bit of a gray, like just a bit of a gray zone as like what the scope of this card is. So yes, even if you're near your keyboard or your phone or whatever, it'd be great to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, we'll improvise a solution here. And of course, that's not to exclude David Peace. If David Peace is still with us in chat as well, tell us your thoughts. Maybe just let me see if I can think of, can you think of any cards, old cards, Guillaume, that have sort of similar things that might bring out the kind of wording both of us are talking about?
There are some cards that specifically say, I think, to the site's skill check, meaning that any other skill checks, like combat, or if you play an unexplained time loss, for instance, then that's not the site skill check. The agent can contribute to that. Like
laser barrier, but it's not super useful because it's a bit too specific.
Yeah, laser barrier, it's like to one skill check.
guess, yeah, this is the kind of thing where, particularly if Stephen's not at hand
For instance,
to weigh in on this.
For instance, you have the card Disbelief from the Merle 1013 expansion. So it's like, play this card on any agent with the keyword skeptic to prevent that agent from contributing their skills at any keyword occult investigation or alien investigation site. So in that instance, I think the agent will not be able to contribute to any skill checks occurring at that site.
And can you read the wording on the one that we're playing here back to me once more?
So play this card to prevent all agents from contributing their skills to this site, except agents with a subterfuge skill value of 1+.
I think so. I think I'm happy to play it here that that it's going to stop 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 from contributing to combat here, but I think I do think that there's definitely enough gray area around how this card is worded at the moment, and this card effect in general, that it definitely needs to be revisited to clarify.
So it should, yeah, it should either say to the site skill check or to any skill checks occurring at this site.
Occurring at this site, right? Yeah, yeah. But that's good that it's going to stop him from contributing to combat just now.
Okay. So Unnatural Prowler, we have not, I don't think that card has been played before. So it says, this adversary may attack by itself or select one agent with an observation skill to attack the remaining team in conjunction with this creature. So again, another conjunction effect. Combat is resolved when the creature's health is reduced to 0, which might be a good thing to say on the Fox Huntress card. The target agent must go to the hospital regardless of health and remain there until fully healed. In addition, the agent is afflicted with the keyword Insanity until a healing card is played on them. And the Prowler may use subterfuge cards, and I don't have any cards, subterfuge cards. So basically,
do I have some sort of, I have Unnatural Prowler here, and it says play this card on a team in the field that plays a witness.
Oh yes, that has been changed.
Do I have the old version of Unnatural
Yes.
Prowler here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Unnatural Prowler, where is it? Yes. So on your team, Marita has an observation skill, so I will select her to attack in conjunction with the adversary, which means that for long range, the Unnatural Prowler does not deal any long range, but Marita deals 1 long range. So I will deal 1 long range to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. And 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 will deal 4 long range damage to either Marita or to the Unnatural Prowler.
What's the health on the Prowler again, Guillaume?
It has a health of 5, and Marita has a health of 4.
So I'll deal the 4 to the Prowler there.
Okay. And for the close range combat, the Prowler will deal 3 damage, and Marita will deal 1 damage. So that's a total of 4, and they will both deal their damage to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. And 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 deals his 2 damage to the Unnatural Prowler, killing him, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that means that 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is sent to the hospital, the Unnatural Prowler is discarded, and Marita is sent to the hospital. She's undamaged. So she's just sent to the hospital, and she's afflicted with the keyword insanity. So only 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 remains at the site.
I will leave a D10 on Covarrubias just to remind us of that keyword insanity on her.
Okay.
And yeah, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is at the site, but I can't complete it, so the site will go to the discard pile. And I'll move to my second investigation with Scully at Lake Okoboji. That's nearly investigation 4+. She currently has 2 thanks to the Emily card. And I will use Darlene Morris, one of her tokens, to give another 2 to the alien investigation there.
So I have 2 bluffs on that site. So the first one, it's armed robbery. It costs 1 but 0 since it was face down, which is good because I have 0 conspiracy left. If no agents at this site have a keyword weapon card equipped, you may take up to 3 resources from your opponent's resource pool and add them to your conspiracy pool. So
I've only got 2.
Yeah, so I'll take the 2. And then the other one is Nasty Surprise, which costs 3 but 2 since it was face down, and so I'm paying the 2, and I would add 5 to my conspiracy pool. And unfortunately for me, that's all I can do. So thanks to Darlene Morris, you are free to ask your question.
Yeah, motive question.
Ruby.
Oh, and hilariously, motive on both the cards that I have left is the same. Right. So I will ask Steve. I'll ask Guillaume. Is your motive knowledge?
My motive is knowledge. Yes.
That's a relief. So then I will ask: is your X-File the night hag?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, we've got the cool kind of prototype for the actual X-File. That looks really snazzy. I'm really looking forward to having these as like physical extra deck of X-File cards. It's gonna be really cool. And do you want to take a guess at my X-File game?
Well, are you Lord Kimboat?
I am indeed Lord Kimboat.
Oh.
with a very shabby looking, by comparison, Lord Kimboat proxy card that I printed off this afternoon. So I just have something to put there.
Well, that was a really hard game to play. I really struggled for most of the game to come up with either resources or conspiracy points, and you usually played like 2 sides, so it was really difficult to try to stop you from investigating. That, in addition to not being able to get a yes answer. Yeah, that was a really fun game, and we did see quite a lot of cards that we had not seen before, so that's great.
Oops, sorry. I had my phone going because I was downstairs having dinner, and I do apologize for that. But I want to send a congrats to Alastair, not just on this win in this playtest game, but you, good sir, are on a winning streak right now on this channel. You have had now 3 consecutive wins at this point. The previous 2 against me. So Guillaume, I do know your pain at this point, but boy, you went through the ringer. Or more specifically, your agents went through the ringer, especially at the whim of the Fox Huntress.
Yeah, twice.
In this. So, for what it's worth, we are definitely going to be going back to the drawing board on that one, because at least in terms of trying to figure out how to squeeze that little bit of text in there for clarification, because I did catch a little bit of that. The issue becomes when the Fox Huntresses health is reduced to 0, and it seems that the question is the pushed agent, in this case it was Detective 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, is the effect, the pusher effect, is he still under the influence of that at that point when Fox Huntress' health is reduced to 0? My intent was no, but we don't have that bit of clarification existing on the card at this point. So somehow we got to get that on there. I think at maybe one point I entertained the idea of like, okay, combat ends when this agent's health is reduced to 0, but what about all the other conditions that would end combat? Like, well, what if the team's wiped out or something? You know, it's like, do I have to have that spelled out there too?
We can go with what it says on the unnatural prodder card, because basically the effect is kind of similar in that you can choose an agent to attack in conjunction with the adversary, and it does say combat is resolved when the creature's health is reduced to 0. So that kind of, you know that if the agent is still alive when the creature is gone, you don't ask yourself, okay, does combat continue? And for Fox Huntress, we could just say the same thing.
Okay. What do you think, Alastair?
And
then I want Cholera's opinion after that.
Well, he agrees with whatever
I think, like I said during the game, there's an argument that you can say that the in conjunction clause that starts the rules for that card is not just descriptive. It's actually you're making it rules text in the game, and that whenever players see the phrase in conjunction with, they should be aware that whatever follows in that sentence in terms of rules instructions only happens if the original card that is acting in conjunction remains in play. So I think you might actually be able to leave the wording as it is, as long as you make it clear within the actual rules of the game that wording means something.
Because we've seen in conjunction appear on some of the adversary cards, including the evil one. Although
Guillaume and I took a detour looking up loads of cards like Overwhelming Force and Margie and Terry and stuff like this, and none of them actually used the in conjunction phrase. But I had missed that the evil one does, in which case you can't get away with using that as a solution for it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Up the wording. Steve, did you check what we were? Sorry, did you? I said the card name rather than what I was going to say. Did you hear us discussing security checkpoint during that?
A little bit, but of course, I was AFK, and so I'm going to need you guys to run me through, because I only got a gist of it. Let me just pull up the effect. Play this card to prevent all agents without a subterfuge skill from contributing to any skill checks occurring at this site. Any skill checks occurring at this site.
Oh, so it does say any skill. So it does say any skill check, because on my card it just said 2. Hold on, where is it?
Yeah, I've got it in bold, so I know I've made a change to it at some point, but I really didn't.
Maybe I forgot to print the updated version then.
Possibly, and I think that's probably what it was. But I mean, I could have sworn I sent. I thought that one went out to you guys, unless I forgot to include it.
Maybe you did, but I just didn't print it. That's
possible.
You. Hold on, let me check my security checkpoint.
Yeah, any skill checks occurring at that site.
Okay. Yeah, it works.
Good news is that we played it the right way.
Excellent. So no change there, but yeah, I mean, it's at some point we caught that, and because I feel like that card got play tested so much, and I think at some point that change got implemented. It's just a question of maybe I didn't send you guys the new one. Alastair, maybe you can check to see what I mean, I could actually, maybe if I pull up the Word doc to see if that was included in all the revised cards that I sent. I may have neglected that one because I had forgotten that we had made those changes, but we'll see. So you guys really did a good job putting that Fox Huntress card to the test. Thinking about that, see if we can maybe find room to specify the okay, how about I say combat ends when the because I'm not even though we do have that on the natural Prowler, but I'm just like, is that the only way people would be like loyally about it? Well, does combat end when only in that case, or what about when all my agent's health is reduced? You know, something like, because there's other ways combat ends normally, right?
Yeah, but if like if all of the agent's health has been reduced to 0, like combat does effectively end. So
it does. Yeah. But yeah, we definitely don't want to. I mean, my intent was not to have 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 still fighting it out if Linda Bowman was, you know, if her health was reduced to 0. I mean, we could also say like something like the effect on the agent ends when her health's reduced to 0. I mean, I know I have to like try to confine some very concise language, because I already looked at that card and I'm like, oh god, there's not much room on there as it is. Guillaume, you're gonna have to do a little shrinkage of the font.
yeah, but I really think like if you use the same thing as a natural prowler,
Okay.
I think it's the most concise way, and it really does say when the adversary is killed, combat ends. Well, so combat ends when the adversary's health has been reduced to 0.
What do you think, Alastair?
Yeah, that seems like it would do it. You could maybe use an if clause if this agent is sent to the. Sorry, if. Well, it's late here.
Yeah, I do apologize.
You can maybe use an if clause. If the adversary is sent to the discard, then combat ends, or something to that effect.
Which would happen when their health is reduced to 0. But yeah, we could do that.
We do know that we need to really specify that, just to make sure that isn't. So,
yeah, we've had 2 hard tests of that, and it did sort of present that question both times. So I'm really glad we put that one through the ringer, not once but twice through this playtest. So that in and of itself proved to be very effective. So good job on breaking that one, guys. And really, it's awesome that both of you guys like zeroed in on that particular adversary, because I definitely do not want to have like that kind of a thing come up, you know, once all of these cards have been signed, sealed, delivered, and then suddenly that question is coming up every single time that card gets played. We definitely don't want that happening.
It's always a case of whenever if something happens, like if we don't catch something during playtest and then this happens, we can always clarify that whenever we have the website.
Oh, for sure.
But it's best to avoid that situation. But I know that at least we'll be able to just say, and maybe even for some cards where we think, okay, everything is perfectly clear, sometimes there might be some questions that will come up frequently, and it would be good to say, okay, in those specific instances, this is how the card is supposed to be played.
Yeah. Yep. And we have, in the case of not just this expansion, but all the ones that you're doing, Guillaume, we have the expansion designer at our disposal to tell us exactly what their intent was. So there's that. That's a luxury we don't have necessarily with the commercial release cards, and probably never will. Before I think we address any other cards, though, I do want to take a moment to share the images of the 2 X-Files you guys have chosen. Sorry, I wasn't Johnny on the spot when you guys started asking those final questions. But nevertheless, for someone who is tuning in, I do want to share this one here was Guillaume's X-File, the Night Hag from the episode Avatar. Very lovely image there. I love the red and just how it stands out.
Yeah, and for some of those cards, we really struggle to find the good image, because some of them have already been used on the previously released cards. But for this one, like, it was no brainer. Like, we both wanted that specific image, which had not been used before, so that's great.
Yeah, and the other image that Alastair, or the corresponds to the card that Alastair chose. Can I not just scroll to the next one? All right, bear with me 1 second. And I guess, Guillaume, you could say the same about the card image that Alastair chose. I think we were pretty easily sold on this image because, as you said, hadn't been used in any of the commercial cards, and it's just an awesome image and very iconic, very memorable from that episode. And really, I mean, that whole episode is iconic as well. But I mean, this is one of those images that when you think of that episode, this is certainly one that comes to mind. That image from that teaser sequence is highly memorable. And so, Alastair, great choice on that one too. Yeah, these are some very lovely images. I like how you guys both went with the X-File that is very much like heavy on the red.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys are just operating on similar wavelengths with these decks.
And Alastair, did you think that, well, it does not change the way we play the game, but did it change anything for you, like having to choose different questions than not having to rely on the usual violence or evolutionary questions? Like, did having a new checklist, did it change the feel of the game for you?
Very much so. Yeah, you guys have done a wonderful job on this set of X-Files cards, and I'm very excited to actually have a physical copy of these. I think it does mix things up with how you think about the checklist, obviously, because you've tweaked the numbers, so you do have to kind of retrain your brain a bit. But I think more importantly than that, it's a really nice thematic touch to just be able to, if you're playing with the season 3 and 4 cards, to be able to use season 3 or 4 X-Files and to do it as like a totally discrete list as well. To not try and jam more X-Files onto the original list, just give people an option of switching to something else is a really great way to approach it. So just amazing work as usual, gentlemen. And yeah, send me a deck of these X-Files cards so that I can have them in my hands.
I do think, yeah, that there is that should be done. And ideally, Guillaume, I know we talked about like wanting to really dive into having people work heavily with these cards once we wrapped up some of these other expansions that we've been trying to wrap up for a while, and it seems like we've got no end in sight. At least, well, playtesting, I feel like we're inching closer, especially this playtest today helped, but it's just a question of like some of the other logistics that have yet to be resolved that we'll do that. And then, gosh, I cannot wait for that to happen, because then I would be so happy to move on past season 4 Redux and season 5, and then get into some of these X-File expansion checklist expansions, as well as, of course, the ones that Guillaume is working on. But with regards to the game that we just got through, so again, kudos on some of the cards you played. Alastair, want to especially give you a shout out for using bedside vigil, making good use of the bedside vigil card during this game. That was awesome. And Guillaume, you had used actually did both of you guys use the Star of Russia? No, one of you used it.
I told it, yeah.
That's right.
What I really wanted to do for this game was to try to focus on the traitor cards, because I had neglected that part. And if you really want to benefit from them, you have to really focus your deck on those cards.
Mm-hmm. Hoover justifies the conspiracy, moral quagmire. Well done on that. Even also Trail Gone Cold. You played that one as well. Awesome job at that. Trail Gone Cold wound up being beneficial because your agent at that point, were agents at that point limited to only subterfuge skill checks or something. So awesome. Yeah, and it's true. You want to, and this can be said about some of the cards in the commercial set, where there's sort of a theme where you can sort of like dig in on and come up with a very lean and refined deck where that really makes use of that. With season 4, you can do that with the cancer cards. You could also do it with the gulag cards and stuff like that. And I think that's part of what makes the deck building experience a little more enjoyable, when you have some variety where you can decide, gosh, how do I want to lean on the gulag cards for my opponent, or do I want to just hit them with the traitor card this time, or the insanity keywords and stuff like that? Because now it's like you got events that can inflict insanity, and then you have adversaries like the natural prowler that you can make use of and stuff like that. So yeah, just like some of those thematic components that will just kind of add that little bit of flavor to it, so that you're not just seeing like the same common, like, oh, I'm gonna play Detective Thompson, change your site prerequisite bureaucracy 3 for the 1 millionth time. We've seen it happen enough, but it's nice that we get some options to change them up and stuff. Yeah, let's see. So other cards that came up that you guys played, I don't think there was any other issues other than Fox Huntress we really got to figure out. And unless I'm forgetting something, how do you feel about Divide and Conquer, Alastair? We saw that one combat card. You felt that it did its job. It's not too powerful.
Big thumbs up. Yeah, I think that was absolutely fine.
Excellent. And yeah, I'm glad you got to take Marita for a spin. This, I think, was actually her first playtest because this one is part of the second edition of the Season 4 expansion. She's an additional promo card that's getting added to bring the total number of cards up to 180, like we're going to be doing for all of the season-long expansions. So she was a last-minute addition, with her skills slightly revised from the previous one that's been made and put out there. Some different stats, the effect is fairly the same, but we just kind of tweaked what gets impacted negatively by her being paired up with Krychek. So great use of that Marita card. How did you feel about taking that agent out for a spin, Alastair?
Spot on, and I felt the game effect was exactly where it needed to be as well.
Excellent. So I think we covered a lot of ground in this one, with especially with the adversaries. The Unnatural Prowler, I missed that one altogether. Were there any issues that came up with that I didn't catch?
No, it worked really well. Yeah,
excellent. And that was that was the first time that has come up in any of the playtests, and this was after it had been revised. And so if you guys are happy with it, I'll have to catch that replay at some point. But it sounds like that one went off without a hitch, so
I
that's
think
good.
The previous version being a witness activator is what really prevented people from maybe including it. But now it works really well. There are two cards that I played chemically induced psychosis. Maybe the cost currently is 5, so 4 if it's face down. So maybe it's an issue because I was really struggling for conspiracy points during part of the game, but I had it in my hand for a while and I wasn't able to play it because of the cost. And I was like, so I went to the trouble of actually inflicting the insanity keyword on Krychek at the beginning of the game, but then I feel like maybe this card, the cost might be too high. It does allow you to send all of the agents inflicted with insanity, but that means that you have to play one card on one agent, maybe a different effect on another agent. So you actually have to pay conspiracy points for that. You have to have the cards in your hand. You have to be able to pull that off. And then chemically induced psychosis, it works, but like most of the games, you'll probably only have one agent with the insanity keyword, maybe 2. And I feel like maybe lowering the cost maybe by 1.
Okay, so it would have like a 4 base cost, but most likely a 3. And I think sometimes what happens, I don't know if that was one that I felt like one of those two cards, like chemically induced psychosis or shootout at the 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, I tend to get those a little mixed up because they're from the same episode and very much like the scenes are very close to one another. And I know one of them went through quite a rigorous evaluation in Discord, and I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was the other one. Maybe it was the shootout card, actually. And I know cost was a factor in that one. You'd have to scroll way back to find that one. It might have been shootout, actually. So this card where you are only really getting the benefit from chemically induced psychosis in the event that an agent possesses that keyword already. So that there's something to be said about having a high cost card where that is so very dependent upon another card effects being in play, right, Alastair?
Yeah, I think it's always hard to tell. We could do with maybe directing other playtesters to give it a whirl and just get some more feedback, because it doesn't hurt to have a bit of redundancy and experience. when you have quite a small sample size, it can be difficult to tell whether you're looking at something that's happening as more of a fluke or something that's to be expected recurringly. So yeah, for playtesting a bit longer, try and get some other people to give it a whirl.
I think if you
Sure.
focus
And-
your deck on insanity cards, then there are more chances that your opponents will have, you'll be able to inflict that keyword to several agents. And then I agree, 5 or 4 CP to send all of those agents to the hospital, then the price is fair. But also I think for insanity, in order to do that, you have to put a lot of insanity cards in your deck. And insanity cards are good, but they are usually they do not work immediately. So basically you inflict insanity and then you hope to be able to benefit from it in later turns.
True.
So you
Because
also
like this is a bluff, like that's a bluff, right?
Yes.
So if you have like the event card from season 4, like Insanity on Rye, then yeah, you're probably like, yeah, that card has to, like a card like that has to come up first, obviously, before the benefits of that bluff being played, because you know unless you played it face up, you know, and just decided to not put it face down and wait until, you know, later in the investigation phase and then play it face up. Sure, you could do it that way, but yeah. But you're right. You have to lean heavily on those insanity cards, both found in the season 4 expansion as well as this one, to better the odds that you're going to be able to get the benefit from them. And it's kind of one of those where it's really kind of like to find that balance between like, okay, you got a card that's somewhat situational, but how much of that cost should be depending upon the situational aspect of it versus the effects that you get out of it. And you know, that's a hard and that is a hard thing to balance, especially just as I was saying the other day in Discord about the conflicting costs of cards that have the same effect and stuff like that. It really makes it hard to hammer out a cost. But you know, we're going with our gut instincts on this, all of us, when we're signing these costs, and seeing it in action and seeing it in play obviously is going to influence our opinions on those things, which it should. Yeah, and you know, we try to arrive at a consensus, knowing not everyone will probably be on the same page about the same cost of any given card. Probably not. But you know, you try to, like, maybe if we're arriving at where it's like, if it's one away, if the cost is like one away from where generally people would expect it to be, great. One away, as opposed to not like 5 conspiracy, like, God, that card should be like, you know, that card is like 2 conspiracy points, should cost 5 or 6 or 7, you know, then it's like, okay, then there's definitely something wrong. I don't think we're going to encounter that. I say that now, though. But yeah, I mean, I'm certainly open to dropping that cost down by 1. I think maybe, if my memory, now I think about it, might maybe more is like a typical move card, like Section Chief McGrath or Injured Relative. Those bluffs have a cost of 5 to do that effect of sending an agent elsewhere.
But it's only one agent, whereas for this one, it's several agents, but depending on other cards having been previously played.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Balancing act.
Yeah. And the other card that I had, it did not get played tonight, but I had question about a team building retreat. Because,
sure.
The way it is written now, I think that you have to play it before the agent is returned to the bureau to be able to benefit from that card.
Yeah, because that would mean a training card got played. Place this card in your bureau section whenever an agent is returned to the game as a result of the training card. You may apply each skill modifier listed on the card instead of choosing only one. All right, so what?
Like, let's say during my first turn, I have a training card and I play it on an agent. Then the agent returns, etc. And only after the agent has returned, that's when I draw team building retreats. And I'm like, I went to the effort of playing the training card. I have team building retreat, but then it's useless because the agent has already been trained. So my question is, can we do something that maybe say
that retroactively does it?
Yes. Because it's like one of those things, like training cards are not played that often. So if I include a training card or a couple of training cards, but then I hope that somehow team building retreats get played before those training cards get played.
That's a tough one, because I think like logically you think like, okay, your agent missed the team building seminar, so they're not gonna gain that knowledge, you know, if it comes up later. Or sorry, no, wait. Or sorry, your team. Well, all right, let me think about that. So you get the training card.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to go just now. So Guillaume,
sure.
thank you so much for the game.
We'll go ahead and wrap,
Stephen, thank you so much
wrap
for
it up,
hosting.
and we can talk more in Discord. So Alastair, let me do a quick outro, and we'll all set like 1 minute, my good sir. All right, we're going to wrap this up, and I want to thank both Guillaume and Alastair for availing their time for this playtest. Gentlemen, great show. And if those of you watching, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so. Little support goes a long way to keeping this channel off life support, and give it a like while you're at it. And you can always reach out to me if you have any questions about the game or this expansion, alieninvestigations19@gmail.com. And we are out. Gentlemen, thank you again, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Please be sure to tune in next time for another edition of Alien Investigations. And end stream. Thank you, Alastair, for